Get nasty on a Monday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. 2:02, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. A bit of news here that just broke in the Cardinals world as Cardinals announcing that Michael Mcgreevy, who started yesterday's game against the Dodgers, and we'll certainly dive into the series against LA, in which he took 2 of 3. But Michael Mcgreevy is being sent down. Matt Swanson also being sent down. And the Cardinals...
want to give him praise.
It's only 3 of 162, Carey.
Sorry. Continue, sir.
Cardinals bringing up a couple of relievers to keep things fresh for themselves. O'Brien and Chris Roycroft coming up for Mcgreevy and Swanson going down. So those are the 2 moves that the Cardinals are making following this weekend series. Again, Riley O'Brien and Chris Roycroft have been recalled from Memphis. Michael Mcgreevy and Matt Swanson have been optioned to Memphis. All right, guys, let's dive into it. Cardinals and Dodgers exit survey. We do this after every game or on Mondays, every series. So we'll look at this series as a whole, Carey.
Okay.
Marsh isn't going to respond. He's not going to dive into that.
It's best when he's occupied, too, because he doesn't have the mic.
It's like, what the heck?
What the heck?
All right, biggest storyline for you, Carey.
I mean, you know what it is, Anthony. You talked about it.
They took 2 of 3?
They took 2 of 3 against the LA Dodgers, and you said it doesn't matter. It's the biggest storyline. The damn Dodgers, the World Series champs from last year. They took 2 of 3 games.
When did I say it didn't matter?
You said it last Friday. You said it on Friday. It doesn't matter.
He said it's just 3 of 162. It really, there's nothing to it.
It doesn't matter.
We can't really evaluate anything from this.
It's the middle of the season. Nobody cares.
Exactly.
It's essentially what you said. Why even show up? Basically what I heard.
Did you hear a couple key words there? Essentially, basically.
Well, we don't want to misrepresent.
I don't want to.
You don't want to misrepresent.
It's not a direct.
Let's admit it.
It's not a direct quote. Misdirecting. Man,
Manipulating. Gaslighting.
I don't know much about that.
How about just owning our crap, Anthony? Just own your crap, okay?
Yeah,
they took 2 or 3 versus the Dodgers. That's my biggest storyline.
I said that on Friday. I mean, even if they win 2 of 3 or they sweep the series,
here it is.
You can't say that they're a World Series contender.
That's what you said. It's not what you said.
You said it's 2 of 3 and you don't care.
It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Top contender.
In big picture, it doesn't really matter because it's only 3 of 162.
And who cares? Who's paying attention?
He didn't say anything about a World Series
before
contender.
Flag Day.
You guys think the Cardinals are World Series contenders, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. They beat the World Series champs.
Yeah, it's like when you beat the heavyweight champ. You're the champ, man.
You got to beat the man to be the man.
Okay, yeah.
That's what they did.
Sounds good.
Isn't that how it works?
That's how that works.
What are you talking about, Anthony?
I'm learning.
Clearly.
I'm learning as we go.
Every day.
I just, I'm here to take notes, observe, and reflect.
Yeah.
After I get home.
Oh boy, all the buzzwords.
Yeah.
Okay. He's been in therapy. He's
Seriously,
been learning some things.
he's probably there this morning.
He's trying to use those words against us. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Trying to make us feel bad.
Yeah.
Problem is, we don't.
It doesn't work.
Not at all.
Jamie, biggest storyline?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of storylines for me, but the Cardinals looked like a legit contending team. And again, contending is such a crazy word. They look like a playoff team. How about that? I'm not going to say it's a World Series contender or anything like that, but I thought they were going to get throttled. I did. I thought, okay, Sonny Gray's our best chance in this series to maybe steal one from the Dodgers. He goes out, pitches a gem. Then Eric Fetty, all of a sudden, he's good again. Mm-hmm. I mean, he had a little bleep, and I thought, okay, but I thought the wheels were falling off. They haven't. He goes out, pitches a great game. Mike Mcgreevy, he had 1 bad inning, but the best part about Mcgreevy is he wasn't rattled by it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's staring down Shohei Ohtani, and he's going toe-to-toe with him. Like, that takes some guts. So, for me, there's lots of little individual things, takeaways from the weekend, but I think big picture, this Cardinals team is closer to where we want it to be than I thought it was.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. I think that beyond just the fact that you took 2 of 3 from the most talented team in Major League Baseball was the fact that your pitching was pretty good. Not great, obviously, but pretty good.
Pretty good, man.
Fedde overcame the 4 walks to throw 5 1/3 scoreless innings. He was in and out of trouble throughout those 5 1/3, but he was competitive. Yamamoto was absolutely filthy. He was disgusting.
Yeah.
So the fact that you won that game because Fedde kept you in it, that was really impressive.
And Helsley tried to give it back.
Helsley tried to give it back in the ninth.
Are we worried about him a little bit?
A little bit.
That's a couple now recently that have kind of blown up on him.
He had some in April too that weren't great, and then in May he was excellent.
It's kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster this year.
I can't say that I'm concerned.
Yeah, because the one, it was a tailor-made ground ball and it hit the bag.
Yeah,
and Shohei got on base. There's nothing you can do about that. So now you got a runner on base. That will be, you'd have one out if the ball doesn't hit the bag and Mason Wynn is ready to throw out the runner. But it is a bit concerning, I think, when you look at the grand scheme of things. You don't want to. He's supposed to come in and close games, come hell or high water. Like we don't even
guarantee, Carey.
Guarantee.
Right on the box.
Right on the box. Yeah.
So if you can't rely on that, then it can become problematic. But I'm not ready to go down that road just yet.
Biggest storyline for you, Marsh?
I mean, it was just the fact that you won the series against the Dodgers. You know, we kind of touched on it. I thought the pitching was pretty good. Just the resiliency, I think, from that Saturday game and the base running by Mason Wynn. I know we're going to get into biggest kudos. For me, that's my biggest kudo is Mason Wynn's ability to, you know, get to home plate, recognize that ball's going a little bit wide of Freddie Freeman. It's just the ability to come back in games and find that resiliency, something that we haven't seen the past 2 seasons. Every game is a little bit different. They won 2 games in different ways, and that's something that I'm excited to see. They're not one-dimensional. And the fact that you could beat the Dodgers at home in a spot where you lost 2 series in a row, this team easily could have folded heading into this big-time series against L.A., but they didn't. They took 2 of 3, and now they have the Blue Jays to look forward to.
So you mentioned the biggest kudos. Right back to you. You want to do Mason Wynn here?
Yeah, Mason Wynn is the one for me, just for that Saturday game, the ability to be aware of where that ball's going and just to keep running and take that base, home plate or whatever. And I mean, it ended up being a huge part of that game because if the Dodgers do score in the 9th inning and take a 1-0 lead, maybe things look different in the bottom of the 9th.
Carey, biggest kudos?
I'm going to give it to the entire lineup. You had 7 hits on Friday, 9 on Saturday, 11 on Sunday. Is that
just takes everybody.
No, the team. The damn team. It's a team.
I'll take the NL Central. Okay, they're the best.
Oh, no. You stop. Because you just took the Cardinals as your storyline. You didn't take one person. You took the entire team.
That's a storyline.
Taking 2 out of 3.
Them winning is a storyline.
Well, I can take the entire lineup for having it. Okay, you know what?
Okay, hang on. You want the whole lineup?
No, don't worry about it.
No, let's go
I
the
got
whole
you.
lineup, Carey.
Brent Brown. There you go. That's my biggest
go the
kudos.
whole lineup.
He's balling.
Boy, that Valet had a great series, didn't he?
He's balling.
Yeah.
Brent Brown.
Just take the whole team.
I'll give it to Brent.
If you would.
Anthony, your turn.
Wilson Contreras.
Barrero, 0 for 2. We're giving it to him, hey, Carey?
These guys aren't even starters. Continue.
He started that game.
All right.
Go ahead, Carey.
I got Wilson Contreras.
Props, too.
I got Wilson Contreras. He homered for Jamie on Friday. Got him on the board. And when he had the big hit yesterday, I really did think the Cardinals were going to come back.
Yes.
I thought that it was lined up when he had the double yesterday. It was kind of lined up for another Cardinals comeback. Now, as we know, the Dodgers wound up tacking on a bunch of runs in the top of the 9th and to make the game, to put the game out of reach for the Cardinals. But I mean, he was hitting 139 with 1 home run, 7 RBI in his first 18 games of the season, and since that point, he's picked it up at the plate. He's now up to 250. He had 8 hits in his last 9 games, and again, he touched seats over the weekend. So mine is to Wilson Contreras.
Mine's Nolan Gorman. I know he didn't play in every game, but in particular, the one game that they end up winning with Arenado's walk-off there, he comes out, rips that double. He went 2 for 4 in the game, rips that double, gives the Cardinals an opportunity at that point with a runner in scoring position to win that game. To me, he's swinging the bat a lot better than we've seen in a while. I'd like to see him get more plate appearances. I'd like to see him play more regularly, but it looks like it's going to be a platoon situation for Nolan Gorman. But he's making the most of it right now.
All right, biggest criticism?
Mine is going to be Pedro Paez. And the
He
reason
touched seats too.
listen, I
Carey's
understand.
mad. Let him
He hit a
cook.
home run. That's wonderful.
It was a shot.
Your job, the reason why you get to play every day is because the guy that is supposed to be playing there every day can't throw out runners, which means you should be throwing out runners, which also means you shouldn't allow pass balls. He allowed 2 of them. Like, if you're and
Wild
a runner,
pitch.
no, that ball,
Come on.
he
Johnny
should
would have had that.
He should have actually caught one of them. It was a fastball just outside. He didn't even catch it.
Johnny Bench would have got that.
So
Even Gary Carter would have had that.
So here's for me. Buster Posey definitely would have had that one. Here's the thing. If your job is dependent upon you playing solid defense,
Yeah.
I can't have any lapses there. Otherwise, might as well have Herrera there, and now we can get an extra. But now he did hit a home run. Paez did. But if you're not going to be solid and sound defensively, which is essentially why you're getting to play every day because you don't trust the other guy to be solid and sound defensively, you can't have those lapses. And you can't have it repeatedly. So for me, that would be my biggest criticism.
Yeah,
Jamie?
I'm going to go with the bullpen. I mean, just giving up runs when you can't afford to do. We talked about Helsley, and then we talked about the 2 at the top of the 8th in yesterday's game. When you were right there within 2 runs, and then it creates that separation again. So I'd like to see the bullpen be a little more consistent. I mean, maybe I'm splitting hairs here, but 2 games in a row where they kind of fumbled it a
No,
little
I'm
bit.
with you. I think that is the criticism. You look over the weekend, and the thing that you kind of highlight the most or struggle the most would be the bullpen. I mean, you had Ryan Helsley, who we talked about on Saturday. Unfortunately, it's only one run, and maybe if the ball doesn't hit off
was a
the
big run.
second base, it was at the time. Maybe if the ball doesn't caroom off second base, and it's a much different inning, and you win the game 1-0. But again, a blown save for Helsley, and then yesterday, the game was still within reach when Contreras hit the double. Then you had John King and Swanson being the big issue. He came in 2 innings, allowed 2 runs, both earned, walked 3. You can't walk 3 as a reliever.
No.
You just can't. You don't have the runway to do it. So I do think the biggest criticism does fall within the bullpen, lies at the bullpen. If again, we're gonna have criticisms over taking 2 of 3 in a series against the Dodgers.
Yeah, well, Ryan Helsley was who I wrote down, and we kind of touched on him already. So, I mean, what is that? 2 blown saves in a row?
Yeah.
You
Trade
would
him.
like that to, well, I mean, you could.
might.
They might. Who knows?
Could be you.
Who knows? We got about, 2 months? Less than 2 months now?
Yep.
So those questions will be answered.
All right, Cardinals, Dodgers continue their series tonight. Continue their series tonight. Suddenly I was like at the end of last week for some reason. The Cardinals open a new series against Mama Rivers' Blue Jays tonight. Jose Barrios
Battle of the
takes the hill.
birds.
Andre Pallante.
Blue Jay's a much bigger bird.
Yeah, it is. Remember, Mama Rivers talked about that. She kind of broke it down for
There's some
us.
knowledge down.
But they are slower, though, because of the amount of weight that they have.
Sure.
Their flight pattern is different than a Cardinal, so they're a little bit slower of a bird.
Bigger
So,
beaks, though.
Bigger beaks, but, that just sometimes people don't like that.
Yeah.
It's not all about that, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So Blue Jays, Cardinals tonight at Busch Stadium. Andre Pallante, Jose Barrios. We'll play a lineup game next on 101 ESPN.
Cardinals back in action tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays. It's 101 ESPN. It's the Fast Lane. Jamie Rivers here, Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter. I'm not sure where Anthony is right now. I'll have to send up the FBI to track him down. Oh, the boss is talking. That can't be good.
Yeah, no, I think it's okay.
Nah, every time the boss talks to Anthony, Anthony's in trouble for some reason.
You in trouble? 100%. You okay? Everything good?
Still have your job?
I think the driving records are due soon again for the annual driving record. So
I still don't understand that.
Yeah, I try to dodge John during the driving record thing, but
I don't understand
he saw me
that.
coming down the hallway.
It's a weird situation.
Yeah.
Anyways, Anthony,
So
we
what
just
do we-
fired it up here.
Got the lineup game going?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah. Blue Jays. Who's on the bump for the Jays?
Jose Barrios.
Oh, okay.
Who's
First
a right-hander.
of 3 or 4? This is 3-game or 4-game?
This is a 3-game.
Okay.
I mean, really, guys, over 162 games, it really is just three games. It's still only 3 games in 162. I don't know. It's a measuring stick, kind of.
So it doesn't matter.
Blue Jays.
All right,
Yeah,
let's go.
okay. They don't matter. So
At no point did I say that the 3 not matter.
It's a measuring stick.
it's measured.
I can
Kind
see
of. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
kind of.
Go ahead, Carey.
Show us. Lars.
I'm not even bothered by this.
I don't care. We're having fun with it.
Well, good. As long as you guys are having fun.
International superstar.
Watch out,
Sounds
they're running
like
any walls.
You gotta go deeper then. You can say it again. Just go
Go
deeper.
deep as you can, Jay.
Yeah, go deep as you can.
You guys, I'll tell you
Go
what.
ahead, Jamie.
Don't tell me what to do.
Go for it. Kind of.
Show us. Mason win.
Turkey,
Who was that?
bring me that
Show us Brendan Donovan.
Look at that guy. Vibrant, handsome, hair.
Show us. Wilson Contreras.
You don't know how to play first base. It's not that hard. Tell him, Watch.
It's incredibly hard.
Hey, anything worth doing is.
Jamie?
Ooh, this is interesting. This is spicy here because we had a little bit of a shuffle the deck here throughout the weekend. It has been Herrera, but he did have an Alec Burleson sighting at the 5-hole, and it's an RHP. I'm gonna go with Burley.
Incredible.
Show us. Do you guys agree or not?
I don't disagree.
You disagree, Anthony?
Wholeheartedly.
Am I way off here?
I believe in Jamie.
All right.
Yeah, that didn't answer anything, by the way.
I believe in Jamie. I back you. So for Burleson. You have a hunch on it?
I don't know if I have a hunch.
No, he said it. Do it.
Oh well, now he's no. Now he's backing up. Give me Herrera. I say Herrera.
I talked to him.
I was fine with it, but if he's not
very confident.
Gary, if he's not going to
Can't be
believe,
confident. Did you see the lineup throughout the weekend? It was all over the place.
Gary, if he's not going to believe in himself, how can I believe
You
in him?
shouldn't either.
Show us Yvonne
Show me
Herrera.
that croissant.
Oh, Yvonne. That's a French-ass name, Yvonne. Yeah, my little croissant. Little cheese on my croissant.
I think Yvonne is catching today.
No. What?
Just putting that out there. We
I think
know
this
who's
is
next.
Burley here, though.
No, this is Nolan Arenado.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Show us. Nolan Arenado. He's
A lot
all.
of people think you get in your mid-30s
just
and
listen,
your
guys,
career's
just
over,
listen.
but like I always say, until they stop shouting, I ain't going to stop playing.
Did you go to the lake this weekend?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Spent all day Sunday by the pool.
That makes sense.
That didn't
Got a lot of
suck.
sun.
Yeah, a little bit. And we had Reed's 13th birthday party.
Oh, fun.
We had 15 13-year-old boys at the house.
Happy birthday, Reed.
You guys have all seen the Caddyshack movie, right?
Yeah.
You know, in the scene, it's Caddy Day at the pool? That's what it looked like in my backyard.
Okay.
It was chaos. They were beating the crap out of each other with
Yeah,
pool
that makes
noodles,
sense.
jumping on each other, trying to sink the raft, like throwing slushies at each other. I was like, oh my God. I had to put like a security vest on. It's like throwing kids out. You're gone. Sorry, park's closed.
Moose out front. Should have told
I
you.
should have told you. It was chaos. So
All
yeah,
right.
I'm a little damaged.
You're fine now. Now, this would be your spot for Burleson.
Are you just doing that for like?
I'm doing that to
He's helping
give you.
you.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you some confidence moving forward.
helping you.
Kind of.
See, that's me. I don't know if that's live or not anymore.
Marsh, keep playing those because Jamie has built his whole identity on making fun of people. So let's just Let's give him a little confidence. He'll get back going. Go ahead. Over 162 games, it really is just three games. You feel it comes back 3 games.
Yeah, it's great.
Feel it coming back. I don't know. It's a measuring
I've made a
stick.
career of making fun of people.
They get a timeout.
Yeah.
Anthony is doing something here.
I know what he's doing.
He feels. So here's what happened.
I know what he's doing.
He felt attacked, and so now he's giving it back to us.
And he's trying to bring you on his side. He's flipping the script.
He's attacking
it.
in a very
It's strategic.
But it's really not subtle. When you know Anthony, it's really not subtle.
Anthony,
It's still
quit picking on Jamie.
Yeah.
It's still
Janet.
strategic.
They could use another mic drop, Janet.
You're
Help me out
attacking.
here.
The problem is Carey's got my playbook.
I know him.
I know your playbook.
I see him.
I play along.
In some of those things. Some of the things you absolutely do have my playbook.
Yeah.
And other things,
Sometimes I just
Nobody has your
conflict.
playbook, Jamie.
What?
We don't have your playbook.
Mine?
No.
I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of helter-skelter. Just
Yeah.
show
Every
up and
page
play.
is a new story.
Yeah.
All right, show us Alec Burleson.
I thought I told you I'm a star.
You're already acting like you're a star, and we haven't even opened yet.
So, I don't think Valade is playing today.
Okay.
I hope not.
I think Burley.
Amen.
I'm sorry, Ryan.
Damn.
Don't need it.
What the guy do?
If he hasn't hit,
Probably
it's a
a
problem.
good guy. He had a hit Sunday, right? Or
probably-
Saturday? One of the games?
Did he keep
Saturday. He had a hit.
Did he keep the ball?
Sunday. That ain't his first hit of his career, Jamie. It's his first hit as a Cardinal.
Might feel like it.
Yeah.
You better mark that one down.
With all due respect,
Of course.
Yeah, of course, always.
Yes.
I don't
always.
think Valade is playing today.
Okay.
I think you go with Gorman. You got an RHP on the.
I would love
On
to
the ball?
see Nolan Gorman play.
I think Herrera is catching
I'm good with
because
that.
if Pajes is gonna let balls just go by, and what the hell difference does it make?
Right.
Might as well let, and you're gonna let people steal. Might as well.
Might as well get another,
bat in
lineup.
there.
Yep.
This is my thought.
I'm with it.
You cool with that?
Yep.
Show us Nolan Gorman.
Swing Serenade is brought to you by Gorman.
Dingers! Hang turf and I will hit. Dingers!
All right.
Are we back to
Victor Scott.
Yep. Go ahead.
Show us Victor Scott.
Run, run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Nice work, boys. Nice job, Carey.
Proud of you guys.
Proud of you.
Proud of
Team
you,
effort.
Carey. You did really good.
You tried to derail us with the Burleson.
Who did?
It's okay. You got, and then, but you were man enough to say, you know what? I'm not confident anymore.
I wasn't.
Yeah. That saved us from a perfect game right there.
That was a scrambled eggs after that. I lost track of everything.
Jamie, you are so right.
Thank you, Janet. I miss you, Janet.
All right, Marsh, you run it.
All right, leading off in left field, Lars Newbar. Batting second, the shortstop, Mason Wynn. Batting third, second baseman, Brendan Donovan. Your cleanup hitter, first baseman, Wilson Contreras. Batting fifth, catching is Ivan Herrera. Batting sixth, third baseman, Milano. Batting seventh in right field, Alec Burleson. Batting eighth, the DH is Nolan Gorman. And batting ninth in center field, Victor Scott, the second.
Back. Stay fair! Stay fair! Go fair! Go fair! I don't believe what I just saw. Home run.
All right, Jamie. Jamie got on the board Friday with the Wilson Contreras home run. He'd been waiting on that one for a hot minute. He got it.
Picking him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Marsh, what are our latest standings?
All right, Jamie is in the lead with 7 points. CD has 6. Anthony, you have 5, and I have 3.
All right. I just talked about this guy in the first segment. I got Nolan Gorman tonight. Been ripping the ball pretty good. I got a feeling.
Well, you know my theory. Excuse me. I get choked up speaking about this guy.
Yeah, it's emotional.
Whenever he catches, I feel like things happen. Sometimes they're not always good, and he gets upset at the plate. So, give me Ivan Herrera.
I will take Lars Taylor Tetsui Newbar for my home run.
I'm going to go with Mason Wynn.
All right, so Jamie, who's now in the lead, has Nolan Gorman for his home run tonight. CD took Ivan Herrera. I took Newt, and Marsh wound up with Mason Wynn. Unfortunate situation yesterday at the Battle Dome as only one team showed up. Was yesterday the Battlehawks, kind of a bit of a microcosm of what we saw all UFL season long with them. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. I mean, really, guys, over 162 games, it really is just three games. It's still only 3 games in 162. I don't know. It's a measuring stick, kind of.
If you're looking to sell your home, this can be a tough process. I remember trying to sell my home, and I thought I knew what I was doing, priced it the wrong price, sat on the market for a little longer, then you can lower your price, and then that lowers the visibility. Don't do that to yourself. Find the best in the business, and that is Gloria Lou. With your home sold guaranteed realty, look, Gloria has so many different solutions to the home seller, whether it's a cash offer, whether it is no showings. No matter what you want, Gloria Lou is going to be right there to take care of it for you. But the best thing is she knows exactly how to price your home for 2 reasons. One, to sell it quickly, but then to get you the most money for your home. And that's all you really want. You want to get the most money possible, and you want to make it to the closing table, which means you got to find a strong buyer too. And Gloria can help out with that. And she's got a database with thousands of buyers that are ready, willing, and able to purchase your home. And that increases the visibility, hopefully more offers. Again, getting you that money that you want for your home. So please call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number is 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take 2 of 3 against the Dodgers this weekend. The Cardinals will take on the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. Andre Pallante on the mound, going up against Jose Barrios. First pitch is at 6:45. Tonight on 101 ESPN, you can listen to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final between the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. That series is tied at 1 apiece. Pre-game tonight starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. The Battlehawks season comes to a close as they fall to the DC Defenders in the XFL Conference Championship by a final score of 36-18. We'll discuss that game next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Well, yesterday was disappointing to say the least as the Battlehawks lose to the Defenders. I don't know what the final score wound up being.
36-18.
I didn't want to.
I'm sorry.
I didn't want to go back down that road, really.
I thought you were looking for.
CD was trying to.
I thought you wanted to be informative.
The whole point was like it doesn't. The final score didn't matter. The Battlehawks finished third.
Didn't know it was a rhetorical question. I thought you were actually asking for
I thought you did a hell of a job with that.
All right. Yeah.
And it's not,
good. That's on me.
It's not like the Super Bowl where you stopped watching after 3 quarters because the Battlehawks are still losing at that point.
Who brought up the Super Bowl?
I don't know why he did.
Well, I still think that you think the Chiefs are going to get back in it. They've got a couple of
No.
That's right, Anthony.
So you kind of feel as though that the fourth quarter could go either way.
No,
but I understand what you're saying. Marsh, the Eagles were crushing them heading into that third quarter.
No, you know what? You're right, Anthony. You're right. We'll let you believe whatever you want to.
The Battlehawks, though, Max Duggan must have thought that was the national championship game against Georgia because that's a little rough.
Uncalled for.
I think that, in all seriousness, I was really disappointed. Like, I was kind of excited to watch that game. The Cardinals game was over. I'm not interested in another, ESPN Sunday night Yankees game.
No.
I was all right. Here we go. 5 o'clock kickoff, not bad. In fact, the kids and I were still outside. I got the TV lined up outside, the little small TV, the extension cords all over the place, that whole deal. Kelly and I were throwing the football around, even though it was spring. Like, here we go.
Nice.
Yeah. And then the game started. That was rough. I thought that last night was kind of a microcosm of the entire season. Carey, I'll let you handle the lack of a vertical passing game, specifically with Max Duggan at quarterback. But I thought the turnovers were a major issue throughout the season. When they did started to lose a couple games, turnovers were a huge theme. Last night, the Battlehawks could not hang on to the football at all. 2 fumbles on the kickoffs. Only one I think they had lost. Doesn't matter. Max Duggan got crushed twice, gave up the ball once he lost, which was right before halftime. I thought the defense saved its. They were on the field the entire time, but I thought the defense saved its worst game for the last. And I thought our guy. I love Coach Anthony Beck. I thought that was a bit of a panic move early in the third quarter when he decided to challenge. First of all, go for it on 4th down. I know it's kind of no man's land, but your offense just started to look good. If you can pin them back with a good punt, I thought that would have been the play. And I questioned it beforehand. Then, of course, he throws the challenge flag, hoping to get the PI.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get it. Defenders get the ball back, and they go right down the field again. I thought that was kind of a pivotal moment.
Well, I think that's why he did go for it, because you were not stopping the defenders. They were running the ball well. They were throwing the ball well. I talked to you all in the office about Te'amu and his passing. He was 18 for 26, and I would say of those 18 completions, probably 10 or 12 of them were just RPOs where he's getting the ball out right now and throwing it to guys. It's a predetermined read. Either I'm going to run it with the running back or I'm going to throw it to this specific guy, and he was throwing it to that specific guy.
That's what happened with the pick, too.
Yeah, yep, that's exactly what happened. So it was watching that game, it became frustrating because I was at the game and I'm watching it and I'm like, man, the first half, I even texted you. I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they go with Silvers in the second half because Duggan is unable to get anything going offensively. When they have anything downfield, he's lost in terms of where the ball should be thrown. And when you're a quarterback, I understand the need for having a more mobile quarterback, which is why they moved on from A.J. McCarron and went with Manny Wilkins, who ended up getting hurt, and now you got Max Duggan. But the first job of a quarterback is to throw the football. Like, and if you're unable to do that on time and effectively, the offense is limited. You become one-dimensional, and now you got 8 guys in the box, or you got guys keying in on the run game because they know that the pass game is not an option for you. And so going to Brandon Silvers in the second half, I thought that was a good decision. He came out, didn't score on the first drive, but the next drive they came out, went right down the field again, and they scored. It's just, it was too much. Like, the DC defenders, the offensive line for the Battlehawks struggled. But every single one of those sacks were not on the offensive line. Some of them were on Max, just holding the ball too long.
Boy, did he hold on to it.
And because he doesn't know where the ball should be going. Yep. And so when you're doing that, people will start the whole line got to protect. No, my job, 1, 2, 3, ball out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitch, ball out. Like, that's a timing route where the ball needs to be thrown, and it's not being thrown. And so you got guys bearing down on your quarterback. So it just became – It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch after that first half. I was like, this is going to be a long game for the Battlehawks if they cannot score quickly in the second half. And they just were unable to stop the DC defenders on the other side.
Yeah, there was a point in time I even texted you guys, and Carey, you're at the game, so you probably didn't hear it, but, you know, the microphones are on. You can hear the players. I believe it was 3rd and 14 on DC's side of the field, and you even mentioned, this is the first time they've made it past past the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
3rd and
14.
That was me. Yeah.
Oh, that was you, yes. Yep. And I hear kill, and then a quarterback draw.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yeah, maybe it's. I think to Carey's point, whether it's that play or any other play, when you're so limited at quarterback, there's only so much you can do. So maybe they flat out told Max Duggan in that play, if this isn't the look you get, kill it, and go to a QB draw. We'll live to play to another series.
And to his credit, the first drive of the game.
I'm not saying it's good, guys. I'm just saying this is
first drive of the game. They ran a quarterback draw on third down and picked up, I think, 15 yards. So that was like long distance, 3rd and long. They didn't have much of a passing game with Max Duggan in there, and so they were running quarterback draws because that was the best thing that they can do offensively. And it's hard to live that way. It's hard to live, and I think you gotta take this into consideration as well. Max Duggan wasn't the starting quarterback to start the year.
Right.
Manny Wilkins was. He got hurt. He tore his Achilles, and so you still have the same type of offense, but not with the same ability to throw the ball downfield. And so I think that's the difference. And Anthony Beck and his coaching staff, at halftime, I said they should definitely go to Brandon Silvers at halftime, and they did. And it didn't matter. Because on the other side, you still were unable to stop DC from doing what they wanted to do.
Absolutely, 100% true. But they did start to move the ball, like you mentioned, with Brandon Silvers at quarterback. So you had this passing game that suddenly opened up. I mean, he hit the one. I think it was a post that he hit right up the seam, and that's a throw. That's a throw that Max Duggan wasn't making.
Beautiful throw.
It was a beautiful throw.
One time, he missed another one to Pearson. A couple of plays later, just short hopped it, had his eyes the other way, and then was unable to get back. But the ball was out. There was a couple of times where Brandon Silvers felt pressure and was able to step up in the pocket, keep his eyes downfield, and make a completion. Those are the things that you need from your quarterback. It's easier to play the style that they were playing when you're winning. You can run the ball more effectively when you're winning. You can run your QB zones and not have to be as concerned about throwing the ball downfield when you're winning. But when you're behind, you're going to have to throw the ball because the clock is not in your favor. So that just was the difference in the game. They were unable to throw the ball. Once they got down by a couple of touchdowns, it just became a tough task for them to climb out of that hole.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was just the Battlehawks saved their worst performance for the most important game.
That much. We talked to Coach Becht about this. I asked him flat out, how hard is it to play the same team 2 games in a row? And it looked like the last game that they played, neither team was really trying to. Yeah. I shouldn't say that's disrespectful.
It's a mud bowl too.
It wasn't the best game. Okay, yeah, the mud bowl, all the things entailed, but it looks like the DC defenders figured out their game plan better than the Battlehawks did by playing them recently.
100%. I thought DC was living in our huddle, quite frankly. And you could tell, too, Marsh had mentioned some of the mic'd up stuff. Their defensive coordinator was fired up. You hear the St. Louis home crowd boo. And he said, you hear that? You hear the boos? It's what we came here for. Like, they had the perfect game plan.
The crowd, and that was the other disappointing thing, it was not a huge crowd. Like, and I didn't know if it had anything to do with the Cardinals playing the Dodgers on the exact same day. The game for the Dodgers-Cardinals game ended, 20, 30 minutes, maybe an hour before the Battlehawks game started. I think if you are a league trying to grow and trying to gain eyeballs, and your hopes is that the best team that you have in terms of fan bases is in that game, you probably should look at the schedule, the baseball schedule, and not schedule your UFL game for the exact same time that the Cardinals are playing the Dodgers.
Still disappointing, though.
It was very disappointing, but
are you blaming the fans?
No, hell no. I'm not blaming the fans. I'm not blaming the fans at all. I'm saying if you are scheduling, you should know that the damn Cardinals are playing the Dodgers on June 8th.
Nobody expects the Cardinals to have anybody.
Doesn't matter. The Dodgers got Shohei Ohtani. So
it all comes back to the Dodgers for Carey.
Does it ever get old?
Man, they beat the Dodgers. 2 out of 3, Anthony.
Yeah.
Going to the World Series.
Now all of a sudden, Carey's wearing a Cardinals hat today.
Yep. You saw the shifting being done, right? From this guy?
They banned that.
They banned that. They can't do that anymore.
Oh, no. There's plenty of shifting going on in this room.
A lot of bull shifting.
Absolutely.
Do you guys think, despite the Battlehawks,
dude, I thought you were going to say it.
Despite the Battlehawks being 8-2 in the regular season, do you think the fan support isn't as much as it once was because the product itself is not as exciting? When A.J. McCarron was quarterback because of the...
I don't think it's an A.J. McCarron thing.
Nah.
Like, do people find running the football all the time sexy?
No. Do you see our faces? It's like we don't.
I can tell you, no. They don't find running the football sexy at all. It's a vital part of the game, Marshall.
100%.
You got to be able to run the ball, especially in the playoffs. Run the ball, play defense. Nobody gives a damn about running the football. That's why running backs don't get paid a lot. Quarterbacks do. You know why? Because people want to see 60-yard passes, not 60-yard runs. Just saying.
I like 60-yard runs. Those are fun.
They don't happen as much.
60 yards is 60 yards.
Yep, that's true.
They don't happen as often.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Carey, oh boy, he did something on Friday night that left.
Thank you, Carey.
Marsh furious, but Jamie and I, we loved it. I'll tell you what it was next on 101 ESPN.
If you want in on the action, all that sports betting available at Circa Sports Illinois, the app. You visit their website for a couple of reasons. One, you find the app there, or you can find it in the App Store, but they also have a ton of fun contests going on. They've got the Circa Survivor, $15 million guaranteed to the winner. It's a fun game that they play over at Circa, but you got to go to Las Vegas. You got to sign up in Las Vegas, get everything taken care of. Then you can bet from pretty much from anywhere you want from there, but you got to get to Las Vegas, and trust me, you'll thank me. Circa Sports in Las Vegas is an unbelievable spot to, one, do all your sports gambling, but the great restaurants, and they got the swim-up bar outside, just awesome stuff. So please get out there, check out the contest. They're giving away a ton of money, as they always do. And if you're using the app right now currently, you probably notice that you get the best odds with Circa Sports Illinois. Better than any other app that's on the market. They've got tight money line splits. They got high betting limits. And again, it's super user-friendly and a lot of fun to use. So please don't miss out on the action. Download Bet Like a Pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today. Join in on all the excitement. If you're someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Well, Brad Marchand, who our guy Andrew Marsh was all about to start the Stanley Cup final. You hyped them up big time.
I was laughed out of the building, Anthony.
Carey and Jamie were laughing at you because you chose Brad Marchand to potentially win the, Conn Smythe? Is that?
Oh, I just said he'd be an X factor.
An X factor.
/ wild card.
Certainly was in Game 2 on Friday night, but that's not the storyline, at least not for us here in the Fast Lane.
What happened?
Carey, do you want to tell the story, or you want Marsh to tell the story? Because I think Marsh should probably tell the story because he was most impacted. Go ahead, Marshy, floor is yours.
All right,
what happened on Friday night?
Let's break this down, shall we? Let's just start with the last period, right? Actually, we could start with the second period. Great period of hockey, right? Back and forth. Connor McDavid, my goodness.
Oh, boy.
He made one of the coolest plays I've ever seen on an ice surface.
Superstar Connor McDavid.
Connor McDavid with an unbelievable feed after just completely undressing every single player on the ice for the Florida Panthers. Throws one over to Leon Draisaitl. They score on the power play. Anyways, we move on to the third period. Corey Perry scores the tying goal. I don't know how he got that shot off as he was being held, but that one went in, and so we go to overtime.
Hang on.
So we go to overtime, right? And we're actually tied through overtime. We go to double overtime, and it looked like for the majority of the first overtime and the second overtime that it looked like maybe the Oilers would go up 2-0 in the series until one certain text message came through. One certain text message at 11:22 p.m. on Friday night from one man in this room named Carey Davis. Florida is about to lose. Out of nowhere. Not even 5 minutes later. It hadn't been 5 minutes. Brad Marchand scores the game-winning goal. I text in Carey. These are separate text messages. Carey, why?
To my credit, I said Florida had turned the puck over so many times in that second overtime. I was like, yeah, it's about to be a wrap. You can't keep turning the puck over to the greatest player in the world. This guy's going to go down there and score. And then I said, you know what? I fast laned up. I'm sorry. I messed up. It wasn't my fault. I thought I saw what I saw.
Wait. You fast laned up and then you said it's not my fault.
It's not my fault.
How is it not your fault?
I didn't get scored on.
Still.
I didn't.
You know what's on the
Brad
line.
Marchand get behind me and be on a break by his damn self.
But you're culpable.
What is Evan Bouchard doing on that play?
He's just standing there.
You see the turnover happen, and then Marchand, who's a good skater, but not the fastest skater in the league, he takes off, and Bouchard waits, goes pause, oh no, and then he chases him, and then just gives up at the blue line, stops skating. And Marchand, that was a terrible goal too. Your guys, I'd be worried about Skinner.
Give up the goal.
My God, that was a bad goal.
Well, he made some good saves throughout the game.
That was a bad goal.
I thought about you when he got hurt. And I was wondering, do they want him to stay hurt?
They might be happy with that.
Stay down. Don't get up.
Stay down.
Damn it, he got up.
He did.
And they end up losing.
Well, Sam Bennett just continually falls on
you know what? I
every
feel bad
team's
for Sam
netminder.
Bennett. I do. I feel bad because he goes to the front of the net. It's a tough job to do that anyways. And then these defensemen are continuously picking on him, hitting him into the net, hitting him into the crease.
He's falling down.
It's really let off. You know?
It should have been a penalty on the defenseman for tripping.
No doubt.
Well, you know what? He can keep falling into the netminder because the Oilers scored on the power play. And that's where we saw the Connor McDavid assist.
Oh, did we ever?
But
the assist heard around the world.
How about the text heard around the world?
Yeah.
That's what we should be talking about right now. I'm going to have to take the Panthers money line again tonight and bet the board. I'm going to have to.
Are you up?
Yeah, me and you were tied.
I don't
Did
get
I hit mine?
I got mine.
I think I hit mine.
I hit mine.
You did.
It was over 1.5.
You did.
What was mine?
What?
You took the Dodgers money line, so at least we can give Carey credit for taking the Dodgers. So the Cardinals won on Friday.
Goals in the game.
And you had Panthers.
No,
he had the over.
Yeah, 1.5 in the first period.
In the first period.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I was hoping they didn't score, but they did. I was hoping. It's okay.
But you and I are tied, Anthony. Per the bylaws, whoever was in first heading into said thing gets to go first.
That's right.
So that would be me.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to go away from the double plays, even though it's been a bread and butter for me. And I'm going to have to take the Florida Panthers money line tonight and bet the board.
All right.
Because Carey had to send a text last night or Friday night.
What Andrew doesn't realize is that when he does it on purpose, it doesn't work. It's like the wheel. When you try to fool the
I
wheel.
did it on purpose the other night.
I did it on purpose on Friday.
Yeah, but it's never the same.
I did it on purpose on Friday.
You did it for the Cardinals.
I did it for the Cardinals.
And
I
it won.
picked the
They won.
Dodgers, and the Cardinals won. Didn't even score. The Dodgers didn't. 5-0.
Waterboy says BK stole CD's phone. Sent that message.
I couldn't believe it.
That's what it was.
I knew right then and there that the Panthers were going to even up the series. After you had sent that in.
I felt bad.
Oh, man.
Did you?
I did.
Did you actually feel bad?
After I saw, I was like, oh, damn, I did that, didn't I?
Yeah. And it's not like you did it like Marsh did it when Marsh, like, what game was it? The Cardinals.
The Cardinals game.
Cardinals Thursday game.
Yeah, that was bad too. At least they came back and won.
When he was like, yeah, we're going to get BT on next or whatever, the recap.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do the recap next because this one's basically over.
Yeah. I didn't know Ryan Helsley would blow the save, and then he ended up blowing another one this weekend. Oh, we got a text from 314. Guys, we've had a few people responsible for the Blues losing in Game 7.
Right.
Jeremy Rutherford for buying his plane ticket.
Yep.
Yes.
Alex Ferrario for saying what he did on Twitter. Or
nail
X.
in the coffin or something like that.
Something like that. That's the dagger. Up by 2, which we know is the worst lead in hockey. 314 says, with 2 minutes left in the Blues-Winnipeg game, I sent my buddy a screenshot of tickets to round 2.
Oh, boy.
Same, karma. I made the Blues lose. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a collective effort.
At least you admit it, you know? It's not like you're like, yeah, I fast laned up, but it wasn't my fault.
I didn't get scored on.
Carey had his guy. Don't worry
my
about
guy.
it.
I had my beer.
All right, so even though Michael Mcgreevy was sent down earlier today, is Andre Pallante on notice following Mcgreevy's start yesterday? Not that it was outstanding or anything, but Mcgreevy did hold his own against one of the top lineups in Major League Baseball. We'll talk about Pallante, Mcgreevy next on 101 ESPN. Time Check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Andre Pallante starts tonight against the Blue Jays, and he has not performed well. In fact, our guy Swan, listener Swan, sent us kind of an interesting thread from a Twitter poster, Jacob, who says Andre Pallante entering the season, right now I should say, 10th worst ERA among qualified starters. And he dug into a lot of the things that Andre Pallante has struggled with. He's known for inducing weak contact and low-risk batted balls, still generating this hits at a high rate. But when you dive deeper, he may be second in baseball in this miss-hit statistic. It's what's happening on the other batted ball pitches that's hurting him. A couple of the advanced metrics would indicate that Andre Pallante has showed some improvement in some areas, but in other metrics, he's downright awful. Again, I think we could probably just stop at he's got the 10th worst ERA among qualified starters. Do you guys think that Pallante's on notice following Mike Mcgreevy's start on Sunday?
I don't know if he's on notice, but I certainly think that he's competing for his job at this point. I mean, Mcgreevy's stuff is good. To me, he looked poised. Pallante really hasn't looked all that great his last couple of starts. I'm a big Andre Pallante supporter. I think the kid just battles all the time. But I mean, if you're making a playoff push at some point and you need to pick one or the other, like Mcgreevy might be able to, edge out Pallante long term. But the problem is, like, where's Mcgreevy going to get the starts in order to overtake him? I thought he's going to get a good run here. Mcgreevy sent back down to Memphis, so it's a minimum of 15 days before they can call him back up again.
Right.
So you wonder where he fits in ultimately. But I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Because Ollie had nothing but great things to say about Mcgreevy following that game yesterday.
I think that we talked about this last week, and it was kind of a blip, but the Cardinals signed Zach Plesac, and we thought maybe it was for Matthew Liberatore, maybe shoulder stiffness or soreness or just fatigue, arm fatigue, dead arm, whatever the case may be, because he looked a little gassed his last couple of starts. Maybe it's we're going to see where if Pallante is able to do the job that is required in order to continue to maintain this spot. I think the Cardinals came in with the mindset that they were going to give Pallante and Liberatore as many opportunities as possible. But I think and here's why winning is a wonderful thing, but it can change your philosophy. Right, you came in with this mindset. We're probably going to finish third in the division, maybe fourth, and maybe we win 83, 85 games, and we'll get these young players a good opportunity to get some games, some at bats, some innings under their belt, and then you start winning, and now pressure starts to change. Mm-hmm. Oh, we got to be better, and how can we get better because we are winning? We want to change. We want to get better in this area or in this avenue, and so I don't know if Pallante is one of those guys that they're looking at and you come in and say, yeah, we're going to give you as many opportunities as possible. Now that we're winning, your opportunities might be based on how well you perform. Yeah. And he could be in that role. I don't know. I don't have an answer. But if you are starting and you're still getting those opportunities, your best bet is to play to the highest level of your ability while you can. Otherwise, somebody else could be taking your job.
I think the Cardinals are being proactive when it comes to this month of June. They must be, and maybe concerned is too strong of a word, but they're going to be vigilant when it comes to how to attack this month because, as we know, they only had one scheduled day off. They've gotten a couple of other days off because of rain and things like that. But when it comes to signing Zach Plesac, who, by the way, allowed 4 runs and 6 hits in 4 innings in AAA, I think everything, whether it's the Plesac signing or the moves today where you're bringing up a couple of fresh arms, everything is to protect themselves in this month. I don't even know if they're evaluating whether or not Michael Mcgreevy will come back into the starting rotation at some point. I think they're just trying to get through the month of June based on, again, some of these moves that they're making. They send down Swanson. If you haven't heard, they sent down Matt Swanson, and they sent down Michael Mcgreevy today. They brought back up Chris Roycroft and Ryan O'Brien. Those two guys are back up to offer fresh arms to get through the month of June here with the bullpen. I don't know. Based on what Katie Wu writes, it seems like the Cardinals, as far as how they're going to handle Micah Mcgreevy, they're viewing it as when we need him, we'll use him. We don't want to go to a straight six-man rotation. If you go to a straight six-man rotation, you have one less option in the bullpen throughout the month of June. That's a bit problematic when you don't know which starter is going to potentially suffer a blow-up at some point.
Yeah.
Because once that happens, obviously now you're overtaxing your bullpen. So it doesn't sound like they want to go the route of the six-man rotation, but they're also not saying Mcgreevy won't get another spot start at some point. I think in 2 weeks we'll see Mcgreevy come back up and make another start. Mm-hmm. It's just how do you navigate June? Again, going back to Pallante, I don't even think they're evaluating whether or not to replace Pallante because this month of June is just such a I almost swore. Gauntlet. I almost said fast lane, but the real word.
Yeah, Gauntlet at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 o'clock, yeah.
We're all getting way closer.
Almost
to that.
though.
All the time.
Fast lane Gauntlet.
My goodness.
Yep, in month of June.
If I'm going to go one step further and try to put myself in the Cardinals front office, is the competition truly Pallante versus Mcgreevy? Because for me, it can't be. It can't be. For me, my rotation has to have Pallante and Mcgreevy moving forward.
For the future.
For the future.
Yeah.
Like, I've got Sonny Gray. I've got Liberatore. If I have Pallante, Mcgreevy, like, they get 3 young arms then, you know? And I think Fetty or Michaelis, at the deadline, maybe somebody wants one of them, but you might want to hang on to Fetty. Fetty has battled all year, and he's pitching pretty good. You know, some of the walks are getting there, but he's still getting the job done for you. Michaelis has pitched very well, too. So maybe the ultimate long play in this is finding as many starts as you can for Mcgreevy, knowing full well he's in your rotation next year full time.
Yeah.
So your rotation next year to start the season is Sonny Gray, Liberatore, Pallante, Mcgreevy, and then whoever else. Mm-hmm. You know, whether you bring back Fetty or you find another Eric Fetty to round out that rotation, or if another young arm, a Quinn Matthews or somebody steps up and takes advantage of that, I mean, to be determined. But the fact that you would have 3 young arms in your rotation is a really good sign, in my opinion. And
absolutely.
They're not like, and it's not like 3 young arms like a couple of years ago they had Dakota Hudson, they had like those, like, it's not like that. It's not the same.
Yeah. 3 low ceiling arms.
Yeah.
In what you're talking about.
What it was before.
Yeah, Dakota Hudson, all that. Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jamie said something that just bothered me.
Oh yeah. That's only one thing?
Well, today.
What did I say that bothered you?
We're only an hour and 12 minutes into the show.
So, Carey, do tell. You know, it's a
you
small
said,
You're in a safe place.
Yeah, you said keep Eric Fetty at the trade deadline. We're going to keep him now? I thought we were trading all of these guys.
No, but Carey, you're going to have to try and make a playoff.
No, I thought we... Or so we're not trading anybody?
Oh, my God. Here we go again.
I'm just asking. I don't know what the rules are.
I don't know.
The trade deadline.
I don't know. I don't know if we're quite there yet with any sort of.
No, we're just gonna wait this thing out.
I said the possibility of it.
You said keep him.
No, I said possibly.
Yeah,
it's a big difference. I don't really care.
I know you don't
at all.
I know. It's the problem.
I'm just saying.
Carey, do you want to hear something that might make you even more frustrated?
Sure. Here,
this one's from Chester.
Oh no.
Have you heard of the Super Bowl Shuffle? Well, now you'll hear about the Super Bowl Straddle. Captain Bandwagon, a.k.a. CD, is going to straddle 2 National League teams the rest of the year. And he's taking us along for the ride. Dodging the Mike muting of Marvelous Marshy, and as well as the swearing of Staltering Stalter, and dodging cars from the Racing Rivers. These 3 try to shut him down in ways that can't be described. But they'll have to call upon the Snake Pit champion, Chester, to send him to the penalty box. Because studies show 100% of the time, it works all the time. That's right, he's more flippy-floppy than a politician trying to get elected. He's absolutely more wishy-washy than a married couple trying to figure out where to eat tonight. It's Captain Bandwagon. Remember, folks, it's same bandwagon time, same bandwagon channel. Brought to you by GagMeWithAWoodenSpoon.com.
I don't know. They had a website.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
I checked it out.
Carey, any response? Target Chester?
I don't know, Chester. I've been a Cardinal fan my entire damn life. And I reserve the right to cheer for a team. Anthony, he actually introduced me to this notion that you can cheer for a team come World Series time or championship time or Super Bowl time or playoff time, and that's what I did last year. Now, where Anthony falls short in this regard is he decides, for whatever reason, to just go back to his regular team, whom he knows has no chance in hell.
Now he's coming after you.
I am. Yeah, because he laughed a little too hard, and I didn't like it.
I didn't laugh at all.
We had a rule when I was younger, you grin, you in. So now you can face the brunt of this. Anthony, who cheers for the Falcons.
Yeah. You have one team and stick by it, okay, Anthony?
Nah, I'm getting to you in a second. It's because we got a couple of bandwagon
right now.
guys as well. Jamie, who has 3 football teams, and whichever one's winning, that's the one he's rooting for.
Yeah, but I'm Canadian. I'm allowed to do that.
I don't think that's how
we don't have an NFL team.
That's not how it works.
I've been deprived my whole life.
You can cheer for the Calgary Stampede.
Yeah,
there you
Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
There you go. Yeah. So
sounds fun.
There are other
Arlington.
people.
No, that's UFL.
That's UFL.
Thinking of the Argonauts.
Argonauts is one thing. Yeah. Arlington's in Texas, guys.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know geography is
it's not the strong suit of mine.
Let's not go there. Okay.
So, I feel like I was attacked. You all laughed. It's okay. I cheer for the St. Louis Cardinals, and I cheer for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And when they play each other, it's a win-win.
Yeah, you just get to ride the fence, like Chester said.
Now I'm back to being a Cardinal fan. Because they're playing well, Anthony.
Wow.
They won 2 out of 3,
There's so much wrong in what you just said over the last minute, but we're just going to move on
He
here.
tried to not make it wrong, but it just got worse.
Yeah.
He was in
Carey,
verbal quicksand.
Just saying it kind of nonchalant like you just did doesn't mean that what you're saying is right.
Well,
just saying it nonchalant.
That means wrong.
There's a lot of wrong there. All right, will Doug Armstrong finally buy out a player this offseason? We'll dive into that next on 101 ESPN.
It's Captain Bandwagon.
Will Doug Armstrong finally buy out a player this offseason? It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter. Matthew Joseph is fifth on the list of potential buyouts this offseason, according to one of the websites that kind of put together a list of players of similar ilk. So what other players do you think, first and foremost, Jamie, that this could be a player that Doug Armstrong, if you want to explain some of the backstory with Army and how he views contracts and things like that in terms of buyouts, if you want to go there first, great. But do you think that Matthew Joseph could be a player that Doug Armstrong could buy out?
So Doug Armstrong has never bought a player out, and there has been opportunities in the past to where it probably would have made sense to move on from said player, get out from the contract, but Army, and rightfully so, he views that as a loss at that point, like a huge loss. You not only did you give this player a contract or acquire that contract, now you're basically paying the player to go away, to which he considers that to be a misuse of funds.
Sure.
That's not a quote from him. That's my wording of it. And I don't blame him because he's a competitive dude. And when you make a decision, even though Army knows full well, not every decision you make as a general manager is a home run or a single or a double. Sometimes it's just a flat-out miss. Mm-hmm. But you always try to recoup value somewhere, somehow with a player. The problem that Army's going to have here with a couple of things is he talks about incrementally getting better, that 5% every year. Well, you need a second-line center right now, or a third-line center. However, wherever you want to put Braden Shen in the pecking order, I don't care. He had a fantastic year last year. He wants to be your number 2 center. Great. The problem that Army's going to have is increasing this team's 5% in the offseason, because the first thing you could do is go sign Sam Bennett. Well, we're going to talk about Sam Bennett later. He might remain a Florida Panther, and he's probably going to get, staying in Florida, he might get a little discount, but otherwise it's projected $10 million on the open market. You don't have $10 million to give Sam Bennett.
Right.
You just don't. I mean, you're only paying Thomas, 8.2 or 8.1, and he's a bigger point producer than Sam Bennett. I digress. Either way. So for Army to improve this team, he's going to have to find some salary cap space. Whether that's because of the UFAs, I don't think that's the market, by the way. I wouldn't touch the UFA market. Or acquiring another player, you're going to need the cap space. Because I did like what BK and Ferrario had going on today. They talked about William Karlsson from Vegas, because Vegas is trying to land Mitch Marner. Well, they're going to have to find some cap space in Vegas. So if Army's willing to take on the 5 point whatever million that comes along with Karlsson, he'll be able to get the player and maybe even have Vegas throw in a draft pick because they need to get the money off the books so bad. That being said, Army's got to find the money then. Mm-hmm. He's got to find the 5.4 or 5.3, whatever the heck it is. And in doing so, if for some reason, if you can trade Matthew Joseph and Alex Texier, you do it. But right now, Matthew Joseph makes $2.95 next year. He was a platoon player, we'll say. He wasn't in the lineup all year long. He had a good stretch there playing on that third line, but ultimately, like, once you get all your players back, once Holloway's back, where does Matthew Joseph fit?
Right.
Because your left side, if Snuggie stays with Robert Thomas and Booch, you got Snuggie, Holloway, Neighbors or Bolduc, and then you've got Toropchenko. Where Joseph doesn't fit. Texier doesn't fit, for that matter. They just don't. And that's a total of $5 million between both of those players. So with the buyout window, you probably would like to, if you're going to use a buyout, probably target the highest paid player in said predicament, and that's Matthew Joseph at $2.9 million. Mm-hmm. The buyout would not be that expensive. I don't know the exact number, but it's less than the actual salary. And then you gain some cap space.
So this would be a situation, you're saying, with it being potentially a low number, this might be the time that Doug Armstrong says, you know what, I might as well go ahead and buy this one out.
Yeah, and it's 1 year left on the deal. Now, Army could very well just say, Texier, Joseph, screw it. We're going the Brandon Saad route here. We're going to waive you, And if you clear waivers, we're going to send you down to Springfield. And you'll play there all season. Like, you will not be recalled. And then the player can say, well, I don't want that. What can I do to? Well, you can terminate your contract.
Right.
That's what basically how Brendan Saad said.
Right.
Brendan Saad left, $4 million on the table, basically. So I don't really care. I'm not going to play in the American Hockey League. Mm-hmm. And good for him. He's earned the right. He's made enough money in his career. But those are some of the options that Army has. But that would only be, once a season, once you get deeper into this thing here and you're trying to find some cap space. He's going to try and probably move on from one of Justin Falk and Nick Leddy. And this is just my assumption. As I'm not saying what he should and shouldn't do, but if you're going to try and increase this team's potential 5%, I think these are some of the shrewd moves you're going to have to make. And Doug Armstrong may be forced for the first time in his career to buy a player out.
That's Jamie Rivers. That's Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fast Line on 101 ESPN. 101 ESPN has your chance to meet Adam Wainwright at this year's Big League Bash at the Factory on July 27th. You can win 2 tickets to the Big League Bash featuring Adam Wainwright in concert, along with appearances from Cardinals players and Fredbird and more, all to support Big League Impact. Plus, our winner and guests will receive 2 passes to meet Waino prior to the show. Tickets for the Big League Bash, supported by Community American Credit Union, are on sale now, and you can find all the details and that chance to win free tickets for the Big League Bash and meet and greet passes to meet Adam Wainwright right now at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. All right, boys. Carey Davis had 3 players in mind for the Cardinals and one important question, which he'll ask next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take 2 of 3 against the Los Angeles Dodgers over the weekend. They'll take on the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. Andre Pallante on the mound, going up against Jose Barrios. First pitch is at 6:45. We talked about it earlier in the show. The Battlehawks season comes to a close. They lose to the DC Defenders 36-18 in the XFL Conference Championship. If you missed that conversation, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tonight on 101 ESPN, we'll have Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final as the Panthers take on the Oilers. That series is tied up 1-1. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. Carey Davis has an important question as it pertains to your St. Louis Cardinals. We'll see what he has to say next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Fast on 101 ESPN. All right, 3 Cardinals that crossed Carey's mind from this past weekend, and one important question.
Yes.
CD. Without further ado, go for it.
So I was, watching the games. I enjoy watching the Cardinals. I love the Cardinals. Chester, just so you know.
Now, with the Dodgers in town, what did you find yourself rooting more for the Dodgers?
Nah, I root for whoever's winning. It works that way.
Oh, my God.
Kids?
No shame at all.
Kids?
It's a win-win situation, buddy.
Oh, I bet it is.
Yep.
This isn't what you this is what you want. It's not what you want out of life, okay?
You don't want to be a winner in life?
No, you do.
Okay. I was a winner this
You
weekend.
don't just root for whoever's winning, though.
That you do your life your way, I'll do mine my way.
Carey, did you win twice or did you lose twice?
I won
Great
3
question.
times.
I won 3 times. He's got no shame.
You did.
Absolutely no
I
shame.
would say you lost the most important one as it pertains to me and you on Friday night.
I lost
when you
Friday
sent
night.
a text message.
Yeah, but I won 3 games in baseball this weekend. Without further ado.
my
So
goodness.
I was watching the game, and I'm saying to myself, Nolan Gorman, he needs opportunities to play. Alec Burleson needs opportunities to play. Jordan Walker needs opportunities to play. However, these opportunities are limited based on the Cardinals roster and how it is right now. Nolan Gorman, he's a second baseman, third baseman. You got a pretty good second baseman right now in Brendan Donovan. Probably ain't going anywhere. You got a third baseman who you tried to trade in the offseason. He probably ain't going anywhere either. He got 2 more years under his contract after this year. He's probably going to be a Cardinal until his contract ends. Alec Burleson, is he a first baseman? Is he a right field? He's probably better suited at first base, maybe DH. But you got a first baseman that you moved from catcher who has another couple of years under his contract.
Who's playing pretty good first base,
Who's playing
too.
really good at first base.
Yep, my bad.
So that's another limited spot for him. Maybe it's a DH. Well, now you got Ivan Herrera who's playing DH because he doesn't catch very well. But he's going to be in the lineup. So Brendan Donovan's going to be in the lineup. Wilson Contreras is going to be in the lineup. Ivan Herrera is going to be in the lineup. And so is Nolan Arenado, which leaves 3 spots for 3 players who, where do they fit? 2 of them can play right field. One of them seems to be better. That would be Jordan Walker. Alec Burleson may be a better hitter right now, but the opportunities are limited. So my question to you all, is there any point that you see the Cardinals moving on from one of those 3? Because Wilson Contreras more than likely ain't going nowhere. Nolan Arenado more than likely ain't going nowhere now. Brendan Donovan more than likely ain't going nowhere. So, and Ivan Herrera, your DH, ain't going nowhere either. So at what point do you think the Cardinals have a real conversation and say, there is value in one of these 3 players to get something back you love pitching. To get some pitching back, whether it be bullpen depth, whether it be a true starter, a AAA, guy that is a number 2, number 3 that can grow into maybe being an ace. At what point do you think the Cardinals have that conversation and say, now's the time to move on from one of these 3? Because there is a log jam, and there is no way to get all 3 of those players opportunities to get at-bats every single day.
I've got an answer that you won't like, CD.
I'm all ears.
And
go ahead.
The answer to that question is when the market is right.
Okay.
So if you're saying, all right, when do you do it? If you're the Cardinals, when do you move on from one of those players? I think you let the market dictate that.
First question is, do you move on? Because I think that's the most important.
That's why I go back
depending on what's available.
Yes, exactly. Because I think this is how teams get into trouble. I think they say, well, we got a log jam. No, you have a log jam right now. You don't know, and even not even right in this moment, because obviously Jordan Walker is still injured on the IL, and he's got to have a minor league rehab stint. So not even right now do you have a log jam. But when all 3 of those players are healthy, you say, I have a log jam. But you don't dictate the market. The market dictates itself. So if there are multiple bidders for one of these 3 players, and it gets to the point where you're like, I can't refuse this deal.
Yeah.
We're going to get back a starting pitcher. A young starting pitcher that's cost controlled. Well, now it's like, okay, I'm comfortable to give up this player. I don't think teams operate best when they say, I've got to make a move. I've got too many guys. I got too many guys. I got to make a move.
No, you can't. You've lost your leverage there too at some point.
Right.
Teams know you're looking to shop your players. They're not offering you the filet mignon. They're going to try and dangle something else out there. Now, my question back to both of you guys is, the players that you mentioned, are they fetching you a top prospect? I know we value them here.
To the market thing.
We value them here in St. Louis and whatnot, but is Alec Burleson? If you dangle him out, I don't know if you're getting a top prospect.
So for me, it's Jordan Walker. Before his injury, he was hitting, I think, .333. He was hitting the ball well over the last 2 weeks
for a small
period of time. Alec Burleson has been playing pretty well the entire season when he gets his opportunity. Nolan Gorman has started to pick it up over the last couple of weeks. And so I'm basing this off of all 3 of these guys performing at the highest level that they're capable of when they get those opportunities. To me, it makes no sense to have all 3 of them on the roster if they're all capable of doing something that another team could use and be advantageous for you in terms of getting something.
But to your point, Carey, they have to be actually doing it.
Correct. And to Anthony's point, it has to fetch you something that is worthwhile. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm not saying, I would never believe you just trade somebody just to get them off your roster. Hell no. If you're not getting something of value in return for something that you value right now, then it makes no sense.
Right.
But if there is something of value to get in return, how long before the Cardinals say, hey, we have to pull the trigger on this, because it makes no sense to have all 3 of these guys who really, if you're going to play Jordan Walker every single day in right field, which they haven't done either, what is the final outcome for these 3 players? Newt is your left fielder. Victor Scott is your center fielder. Mason Wynn is your shortstop. Every position is gone. So where else do you have opportunities for these guys to play if they're playing and hitting the ball really well, playing the field when they get their opportunities really well? At what point do you say, okay, it's time to move on?
It's tough because the other mistake, one of the other mistakes that Major League Baseball teams make is undervaluing player development. And I think the Cardinals fall into this. I think they kind of undervalued playing time for certain players that they wound up shopping, got little in return, and those players wound up having decent careers elsewhere. Lane Thomas is one of those guys. Lane Thomas is like, well, we don't need this, but we need guys that can get in, eat innings for us. That's how you get John Lester. John Lester was fine.
He was fine.
But Lane Thomas wound up carving out a pretty decent career for himself in Washington. Now, will those same playing time, was that going to be here in St. Louis? Probably not. But you see what I'm saying? If you undervalue player development, that also is a mistake. But I don't think it's as big of a fault than if you decide, I'm just going to facilitate a trade I know you're not suggesting this, Carey, but
Right.
I've got an abundance of players. I might as well go get something that I need if somebody's willing to give you that.
Yeah.
Which is a big component here.
So another little glitch in the system here is you also have Sajasi and Weatherholt. And by the way, Weatherholt is just all he does is hit the ball. Like, he's a phenomenal young player. Where do those guys fit in? Because Mason Wynn's not leaving shortstop anytime soon. We are predicting a Donovan extension at some point. So that's the middle infield taken up right there for the foreseeable future. Are Sajasi and Weatherholt something you can dangle? Or would you dangle one of those, especially Weatherholt, because he's a highly touted prospect, high first-round pick? Does that get you a young rotation arm with cost control for several years?
So now with that, I think you're in talks of, like, you talk about teams aren't going to give up a future ace. But if you package a Ryan Helsley, Nolan Gorman, Burleson, or Jordan Walker, and Sajasi or a Weatherholt,
you better damn well get Max Scherzer in his prime for that.
Yeah, but if you're packaging those players together, then you're getting
an ace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think those three players work together though. Like Ryan Helsley works only for a contender, so you're going to get a prospect back in return. Weatherholt would be a part of a package where you're trying to get a bona fide ace. Like think of Garrett Crochet before he was traded to Boston. You know, a player right now on a bad team, you're packaging up a player prospect pool and sending him because a team that's bad wants multiple bites of the apple.
Right.
A team that's looking for Ryan Helsley.
Well, last year we were talking about Garrett Crochet and Luis Robert for whatever you could have gotten.
Mm-hmm.
You got a pitcher and an outfielder from the White Sox. It just happened to be two different guys.
Yeah.
So, but conversations like that, when you're starting to look at these three players, if you package one of them with somebody else or something else, you can start to look at possibly getting that ace that you continue to talk about how important pitching is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm all for trading for an ace or trading for top end pitching. Just it's got to make sense.
What's wrong with just letting things play out?
That is something that I've said now for a while with Nolan Gorman.
Like, let these guys play themselves into a full-time role. I
don't think there is a full-time role for all three of them. That's
I'm
the point
saying,
I'm making.
let them play themselves into that role and give them some time. We're still in the middle of a developmental year. They might be ahead of schedule, but don't be making moves just to make moves when you don't know exactly what the ceiling is for these players because they're not to that point yet. You know?
Yeah. And we have to let this play out a little bit.
And J.J. Weatherholt, by the time that he's ready to be a big leaguer, Nolan Arenado could be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe you move Brendan Donovan to third base. He becomes your second baseman full time.
Right. Yeah, we're looking way into the future.
We're looking way too into the future, and I think now it's because the Cardinals are winning, whereas we wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd just be talking about the team developing if they were just mid, as the kids say. That's
Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. How concerned should we be about the UFL moving forward? That's next on 101 ESPN. Whether you've done it or you've never done it, car shopping certainly can feel overwhelming. Driving all over town, tracking down the right vehicle, juggling prices and promises. But at Auto Centers Nissan, they make it simple. They've got over 1,000 new and used vehicles all in one convenient location right off I-55 in Herculaneum. No running around, no guesswork, just easy. And right now, during the Nissan Summer Sales Event, you can get 0% APR for 60 months on the 2025 Nissan Rogue and 2025 Pathfinder. Two dependable, family-friendly SUVs that are American-made and tariff-free. Every new Nissan also comes comes with a lifetime warranty and a 30-day return promise. That's peace of mind, whether it's your first car or your next family vehicle. And if you're worried about credit, don't be. Their financing experts at Auto Centers Nissan work with all credit types, and they'll treat you with the respect that you deserve. So skip the stress. Stop by Auto Centers Nissan in Herculaneum. Browse online at autocentersnissan.com if you want to do that first. But tell them Stalter sent you. Auto Centers Nissan. It's all here. Our St. Louis Battlehawks fell yesterday, but to the DC Defenders in the conference title game. So an opportunity to go to the league championship, the UFL championship game. It avoids our Battlehawks again, but how concerned should we be about the UFL at large? We kind of hit on this a little bit, Jamie. I'm very concerned.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned. The optics don't look good. The numbers don't look good from like a who's interested standpoint. I really worry about the future of the UFL.
Yeah, and it's going to be hard for St. Louis Battlehawks fans to sometimes understand because they're showing up. Mm-hmm. They are. You know, are the numbers as big as they were before? Are they fluctuating a little bit? But for the most part, like, they're showing up. They're supporting the Battlehawks. So sometimes when you're in your own little bubble, you think, okay, this is awesome. Like, yeah, it's not the NFL, but we're good here, you know?
Yeah.
But you're not. Like, there's several teams that are just not viable. They're just not, business-wise, they're not viable. And this is why the league has been so dependent on the Battlehawks, because of the revenue they generate, because it's a pool of revenue for the whole league. It's not like each team gets to keep their revenue. If so, like the Battlehawks would be profitable. They'd be a good team as far as financially, but you're not. So the Battlehawks continuing to draw fans is essential for this league to stay alive. And the Battlehawks not making the championship game for 2 years in a row, that's going to sting. It's going to sting. If the Battlehawks had made it to the final, you're probably looking at 45,000. It's my prediction. 45,000 people, maybe north of that. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe it's north of that. I don't know. But you're looking at that. That's massive numbers for a UFL championship game. There's just too many teams that aren't drawing. I think the teams playing, practicing out of Texas and then just flying in for their games, I think that's been a miss too. It's just been difficult for, like, the ancillary advertising dollars just aren't there. Like, who's investing into the Battlehawks? You're not. You're investing into the UFL. Right. And I think that's the problem, is if you look at some of the big corporate sponsors who would possibly be a part of it, they look at the model and they go, the model's just not like, no, I'm not putting in, let's say it's $100,000. I'm not putting in $100,000 of sponsorship for the UFL. I'll do it for the Battlehawks, but I'm not doing it for the UFL because the UFL is not looking great, but the Battlehawks look good. Right. So it's tough to get those dollars as well. It's not must-see TV. As far as, like, if we love the Battlehawks, but are you tuning in for a Arlington Renegades and DC Defenders game?
I am not, sir.
I'm not either. So I just worry that because the Battlehawks didn't make the championship game this year, and even had they made the championship game, I worry that the model in the league is on life support.
I think they need stars. Like, I think you need a player. I think the reason... the first iteration of the Battlehawks, I think, is completely different than this one. Like, football was amazing. Before COVID hit, they were about to open the upper bowl. Like, it was packed. And then COVID hit, and then things slowed down. They came back, and you still had really good crowds, really good people attending. But I think it has kind of dwindled. Yesterday was not. I don't know how many fans were there. And I don't know how many fans were at the Cardinals game. I didn't see the view of the stadium, but I would assume that there were probably more Cardinal fans at the game at Busch Stadium than there were at the Dome yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Which says a lot.
Yeah.
Like, that stadium holds, 76,000, 75,000 people, and it wasn't probably a quarter of the way full. So, to me, it depends on stars. Like, people want to see names that they know. People showed up to watch A.J. McCarron because, oh, crap, he plays for the Cincinnati Bengals during the regular football season as well. Yeah. And so, for me, just not having those stars, and I talked about it when we were in break earlier, like, the best players that have come out of the UFL that are now in the NFL, one is a kick returner for the Dallas Cowboys, Turpin, Brandon Aubrey, a kicker, and another kicker, I believe, for the Detroit Lions, Bates for the Lions. That's not something that people are tuned in and like, oh yeah, you have to have stars. People want to see players doing something that they don't see regularly. And if they're not seeing that, they'll say, I'll just wait till the NFL season comes around where I can see guys that are really doing things that are spectacular.
What's tough is there's only one way to get stars, and it's not going to be luring them away from the NFL. Okay, we know, like, that's not what we're saying here.
This isn't live.
The only stars you can potentially get are, for lack of better words, washed up or near the end of their career stars. But those players who are near the end of their career have already made enough money on the practice squads in the NFL and all that, rather than going down to play in the UFL. Like, A.J. McCarron said, I wanted my kids to see me as a starting quarterback. Okay, great. He had a reason. Right. But, like, right now, and I'm just using a couple of names, like if Joe Flacco, or, let's pick a Carson Wentz, or like whatever pick your veteran QB who's had a long career, who's now the second or third string guy on their team.
Kirk Cousins.
Okay, Kirk Cousins. Why would they go? Why would they go play in the UFL? Like, why?
They wouldn't.
So that's your problem.
UFL ain't got $40 million.
You can go looking for all the stars you want, but if you can't find them, and I got the attendance from yesterday too. It was 27,589, one of the lowest in franchise history. Yeah.
To your point, Jamie, also, with the way that media is going about right now, if you have a personality, why go play in a different league when you can just be an analyst on a sports station
and make a bunch
more, make more money
and have a little more certainty too? Because these leagues, we know they're just like USFL, the UFL, the XFL. Like they have, it seems like they roll them out every couple of years.
Yeah.
And you also brought up other teams. The thing with the NFL, we can turn on a game and be invested in other teams and know the storylines for a team in the NFC East. Let's say the Rams were still here. We'd still want to know what's going on in the league because we're invested in those other teams. We're invested in the storylines. So when they come here to St. Louis, then we know this is the team we're playing. I don't feel the same way with the UFL teams. I don't know anything about them, and I don't really care to. I think that's what it is for just the standard UFL fan, the standard Battlehawk fan. Other than Jordan Te'amu, what's the draw, right?
Well, okay,
because
so
he used to play for the Battlehawks. Now he's on the DC Defenders.
Yeah, and Ryan, I won't bring up the whole comment, but I think Ryan makes a good point. He said, honestly, people are just there for the party and football. Nobody cares. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I was, again, Carey, you took your son yesterday. I took one of my sons a couple of weeks ago, and it was kind of a party atmosphere. If you lean into that, I think there's nothing wrong with that. And then if new players, if you have a whole bunch of turnover, it's okay because it winds up becoming, hey, you're going to go to the game. It's kind of a rowdy crowd, but it's fun. It's safe, but it's fun. And it doesn't really matter. It becomes the Battlehawks. It's not too much unlike college football in that it's the program you're following. Yeah, some of those players you're excited to watch, but Alabama or Clemson or Georgia, they don't. Every 4 years they're going to. Heck, every 3 years you're going to get new players. They don't care. It's the program they're following. But you're not going to have that in the UFL. The other thing too, I want to say, I don't think the UFL has done anything wrong.
No.
I really don't
like the teams not being in their cities.
Okay, so Jamie, I completely agree with you on that. Full stop on that. Because you kind of lose some of that character, right?
Well, how can the players show their personality? How can you click with a player? How can you find your favorite player?
So the UFL obviously trying to save money. They had it all in one location. Hey, maybe we can allocate those funds elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
It's not a terrible business plan. It just didn't work.
They probably bought a bunch of condos or an apartment complex down there, a real estate deal, so it's a foolproof thing.
Absolutely.
A couple of years down the road, if it doesn't work, we kick everybody out and sell the whole property.
Jamie, you got a great business mind. You probably would have done something similar, right? So from a business model standpoint, I don't think it was a bad decision at all. The other thing too, they've done different rules that the NFL, quite frankly, has stolen.
They'll probably steal a few more ideas.
Absolutely. They've tried to build in some of the personalities. At least as much as they can. They try to emphasize entertainment and access with the sound that the players being mic'd up and the coaches being
on radio, though.
It does.
It sounds horrible on radio.
But again, they're trying different things. It's not like they said, "Here's football."
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it. They've tried different things. They even partnered with yesterday's game was on Fox.
Yeah.
The other games have been on ESPN.
Yeah.
It's not like they haven't tried. Yeah. It hasn't caught on at all.
To me, you have to have stars. And I mentioned this earlier. Shedeur Sanders signed a 4-year, $4 million.
You have to have names.
You got to have names.
Yeah.
And guys that you think Shedeur signed a 4-year, $4 million deal with the Browns. If you'd have offered him 1 year, $5 million. Hey, come play for the Battlehawks.
But you think he would have done that?
I don't know.
Because Shedeur's not, like those players, now they're coming out of college, they don't need that money. But they're getting it in NIL.
You don't. But the fact that he was kind of shunned and how he was picked apart the entire draft and how he slipped from a first rounder to a fifth round, why not take a shot? And if he says yes, now you've just injected your league with a star or someone that people deem to be a superstar.
Yeah, and we don't know if
they show up.
Somebody may have shot their shot on a few of them, and then the player's like, why would I go there and get hurt?
Yeah, possibly.
Like, why? Yeah. No chance. I'd rather be on the practice squad making my...
Listen, he played at Colorado. It's not much. It wasn't much worse. It wasn't much better.
Not the same.
No, the O-line.
I saw that O-line, yes.
All right, guys, we're in trouble.
Are we?
Yeah.
Why?
We got another returning Gauntlet contestant.
Oh, yeah.
It's round 3. Round 3
today.
Jamie or Marsh have to step up next on 101 ESPN.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
All right, time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. 4:05, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler, with Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. And for a third consecutive show, we've got Brian on the line. What's up, Brian?
How are you guys?
Doing all right. Hope you had a good weekend, Brian.
Good weekend.
Good
ready
man.
ready to go.
All right, so this is the third round. You beat me in random. You beat Carey in random. So it's up to either Marsh or Jamie to save us. Who would you like to go with?
Well, I've kind of got a game plan going at this point. So today, let's go for Marsh.
All right.
Okay, now Brian's been a real nice guy.
Yeah.
And as we know, Marsh only defeats very nice people. So we'll see what Brian has for us as he takes on Marsh today. Brian, go ahead and tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Mr. Marsh, spin that wheel.
All right, Mr. Marsh.
Probably going to be random again.
Brian, what do you want? What are you hoping for?
You know what? I'm going to embrace it. Let's embrace the random.
Okay.
I wish it were random.
It's not.
It actually isn't.
This could be problematic for Brian.
Is it hockey?
It's hockey.
He's pretty good at this category.
Yeah.
All right.
Although we don't know much about Brian and his hockey
No.
knowledge, so you never know.
I do have a Blues hat on right now.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's a good start, Brian.
There you go. All right, Brian. Well, you'll earn it today, that's for sure, because as the guys just suggested, our guy Marsh is pretty good at hockey, but we'll see what you have to offer today. All right. 4 hockey-related questions, all worth 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Chris Pronger played for 5 different teams in his NHL career. Name the team that he played for only 1 season between his time with the Blues and his time with the Ducks.
I will take the options.
Ottawa Senators, Philadelphia Flyers, or the Edmonton Oilers.
Ottawa Senators. Final answer.
All right, Brian, question 2. The great Pavel Demitra played the majority of his career in St. Louis, but name the team that drafted him that he played with for the first 3 years of his career.
I'm going to take a shot in the dark on this one today. Vancouver Canucks.
Final?
Final answer.
Question number 3. Alexander Steen's father, Thomas, played for 1 team in his entire NHL career. What team did he play for?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go options.
Is it the Winnipeg Jets, the New York Rangers, or the Buffalo Sabres?
Carey, New York Rangers. Lock it in.
All right, Brian, question 4. Alex Steen was taken 24th overall in the 2002 NHL entry draft. Which eventual St. Louis Blue was taken 3rd overall in that same draft by the Florida Panthers?
Can you repeat that one, Anthony?
Sure. Alex Steen was taken 24th overall in the 2002 NHL entry draft. Which eventual St. Louis Blue was taken 3rd overall in that same draft in 2002 by the Florida Panthers?
Oh. I'll take the options.
Scotty Upshaw, Jay Bouwmeester, or Ryan Suter?
Ryan Suter. Final answer.
All right. We'll bring back Marsh from the cone of silence. Brian, how you feeling?
Not great. Not great.
That's all right. Let's see here. Marsh, you never know. You never know with Marsh. Although he does have his floral print high shorts on today, so you never know. You never know how he's going to go when he's wearing those shorts. Those new, Marsh?
They're actually a couple years old.
Okay.
But I found them
good.
a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, yeah, I got to break these back
Gotta
out.
dust those off, yeah.
It is summertime, Anthony.
Summer.
Well, almost.
Is it summertime yet?
The summer solstice has not happened. But
21st, right?
When Jamie's at the pool, it's summertime.
It's all,
Yeah,
yes.
that's true. Yeah, good call.
Thank you, Andrew.
Marsh, your
Yes.
category today is hockey.
Of course.
Let's just go to question 1. Chris Pronger played for 5 different teams in his NHL career. Name the team that he played for only 1 season between this time with the Blue, or his time with the Blues, and his time with the Ducks.
His time with the Blues and his time with the Ducks. That would be the Edmonton Oilers. He went to the Stanley Cup and they lost. And then he won with the Ducks. So, Oilers, final answer.
Question 2. Pavel Demitra played the majority of his career in St. Louis, but name the team that drafted him that he played with for the first 3 years of his career.
The Senators come to mind, but I can't remember if it was before or after the Blues. Man, who was it? I'm going to say, let's go with the options.
Was it the Vancouver Canucks, the Minnesota Wild, or the Ottawa Senators?
Ottawa Senators, final answer.
Question number 3. Alexander Steen's father, Thomas, played for one team his entire NHL career. What team did he play for?
It would be the Winnipeg Jets. Final answer.
And final question. Alex Steen was taken 24th overall in the 2002 NHL entry draft, which eventual St. Louis Blue was taken 3rd overall in that same draft by the Florida Panthers.
That would be Jay Bouwmeester. Final answer.
All right. Brian versus Marsh, round 3 in the Gauntlet. Let's go over these guys. Why don't we go, I don't know, 1 through 4?
Yeah, why don't we?
Chris Pronger played for 5 different teams in his NHL career. Name the team that he played for only one season between his time with the Blues and his time with the Ducks. Brian, with the options, you went with the Senators. Marsh, without the options, you went with the Oilers. Correct answer is...
It was the Edmonton Oilers.
Marsh up 2-0. Pavel Demitra played the majority of his career in St. Louis, but name the team that drafted him that he played for with the first 3 years of his career. Without the options, Brian said the Vancouver Canucks. With the options, Marsh said the Senators. Correct answer is...
The Ottawa Senators.
Marsh up 3-0.
Hang on. Bonus point for Marshy. Who did the Blues trade to the Senators to acquire Pavel Demitra?
Oh, wow.
He was a defenseman.
To the Senators?
Yes.
That would have been the, late 90s?
Mid to late.
Mid to late 90s.
Was it Jamie Rivers?
No, I played with Pav here.
I'm not too sure.
Well, not a household name. His name is Krister Olsen.
I would have never.
So imagine that. They traded Krister Olsen, who was a fine player, and you have Pavel Demitra back.
That's pretty good.
Well done, Larry Plow.
All right, Alexander Steen's father, Thomas, played for one team his entire NHL career. What team did he play for? Brian, with the options, went with the Rangers. Marsh, without the options, went Jets. Correct answer is...
The Winnipeg Hockey Jets.
Winnipeg Hockey Jets. Alexander Steen was taken 24th overall in the 2002 NHL draft, which eventual St. Louis Blue was taken 3rd overall in that same draft by the Florida Panthers. Brian, with the options, went Ryan Suter. Marsh, without the options, well, you went Jay Bouwmeester. Correct answer is...
It's Jay Bouwmeester.
Brian.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Brian,
Damn it, Marsh.
Brian, here's the good and the bad. Hold on, guys. Here's the good and the bad.
I mean, my gosh.
Here's the good and the bad. Brian, the bad news is this is it for you. This ends your Gauntlet career, at least for now. Okay? You got 3 rounds in. That's the bad news. The good news is, with the way Marsh beat you today, you are easily the nicest human being
Hell of a guy
we've ever met on these airwaves. So that, Brian, should leave you with your head held way up high, my friend.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. That's a very nice thing to say.
Well, yeah, I mean it.
I took that one on the chin today for sure. But shout out to my coworkers at Basic Services. They were all listening in today, cheering me on.
Awesome.
So.
Shout out.
Yes.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Good guys. You guys are good guys. St. Louis is all good guys. So keep it up, man. We love the show.
Oh, well, thanks, Brian.
You're
Shout out to your coworkers as well for listening. Thanks, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for the whipping, Marsh.
I'm sorry.
Hey, that's what you do. Good work.
It is.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks,
See you,
Brian.
Good job, Brian.
Thanks.
I don't know. Marsh, you had to go that hard.
Brian, at least I took the options on one of them.
Yeah, one of them, in which you said, I've got to say the Senators.
Brian must have helped an elderly lady across the road this weekend.
I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
Brought groceries up some stairs.
Wow, man. Holy smokes.
Marcy couldn't have been more in my wheelhouse.
You didn't have to embarrass him in front of his coworkers.
Those questions, those would have been. It didn't matter. If he picked me or he picked Marcy, it was going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah.
I mean, Jamie even whipped out who he was traded for, Pavel Demitra.
Right.
Pavel Demitra was my favorite player growing up. I was number 38 growing up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I took the options on that one just to be safe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, here's the deal, guys. I saw a couple documentaries before we talk about when your time is up, it's up. And there's certain ways that these young people were dying. And today was Brian's turn to go down in the gauntlet. That's just it, So
I feel terrible.
You should.
That I only got 7 right instead of 8.
Wow. I like the attitude.
An assassin.
Wow.
Jeez, Marshy.
Yeah, I like the attitude.
All right, that ended Brian's reign here in the gauntlet. Did make it to the third round, though. Good for him, but Marsh wins today. Do the Cardinals have to win, speaking of which, the NL Central to make it to the postseason? That's next on 101 ESPN. I love this about our guy Stewie, Jamie. So Marsh just called Stewie to do his radio hit, and he goes, hey, listen, I can't do the hit today. I'm on the other line. He's helping out a veteran right now. This is the great part about Stewie. When we hand out his cell phone number, and that is his cell phone number, he wants you to call him. It really doesn't matter what your situation is. For Jamie, it was buying his dream home. For me, I was asking Stewie some various questions about our house, refi, and all that. If you've got any sort of debt consolidation issues going on, Stewie needs to be your first call at 314-324-4440.
Again, that number, 314-324-4440. And he's talking to a veteran right now. And Stewie puts together different programs for veterans because he wants to see them able to purchase a home, and he wants to pay them back for all of what they've done for our country. And he loves that old school customer service too. If you call Stewie, you may not get the answer that you always want, but you're going to get the truth, and then Stewie's going to find a way to make sure that you can, consolidate that debt or get that home that you want so badly. All you got to do is pick up the phone and call him. If you can't remember that number, what can you do?
You can always Google the bagel loan.
NMLS number 226715.
101 ESPN has your chance to win free tickets to see Collective Soul and live with special guest Our Lady Peace on July 17th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. Find all the ticket info and that chance to win free tickets for Collective Soul and live right now, either at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 mobile app. Powered by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers.
This is Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Do the Cardinals have to win the NL Central to make it to the postseason? I would say 100% yes.
What?
Yeah.
They're right there right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
In the wild card?
See the team that they're in the mix with?
What, the Phillies? The Giants? The Padres?
Yeah.
I agree. At the start of the season, even a little bit into the season, had you told me, like the Cardinals, their path to the playoffs could be the wild card, I'd be like, yeah, good one. No chance. But the problem is they're right there with these teams. Like, they're winning just as many games right there. And we keep waiting for the drop-off. We do. Like, I thought this series against the Dodgers, I was like, okay, here comes a little bit of a reality check. Didn't really happen. In fact, we got a Cardinals team that just scrapped the whole series. Even in defeat, the 7-3 game, they scrapped the whole game, and it made it worthwhile to watch. I know the Phillies, their payroll. I know the players that they have. I understand. The Padres, same deal. The Giants, I'm a little less confident in. I feel like the Cardinals match up pretty well against that team. But they're right there. They're a game out of the wild card. I never would have thought that at this point right now, on June 9th, I would have never thought the Cardinals were right there. So going back to the original, like this, the start of the season, I said NL Central or bust. I don't know if I feel that way anymore.
All right, so if I'm hearing you correctly, Jamie, you're saying
here comes a crab sandwich.
No. I just want to make sure I got this right. Because they have surprised you, because they're currently surprising you, you're leaving open the possibility that they'll continue to surprise, and therefore they could potentially be a wild card mix. You don't want to close. You don't want to close the door to any options.
I guess what I'm saying is they're no longer a surprise to me. Like, I expect them to be in the mix. So if that's the case, if this is what they are, then we have to accept the fact that there's two routes to the playoffs.
That's fair. That's fair. Jamie's not wrong. I didn't expect them to be
this time.
Yeah, not this time. I didn't expect them to be here, Carey. So I don't know if I can just say, they're not going to survive a wild card mix. It does look daunting. I know, but Jamie, I opened my mind. I opened my mind to possibilities.
Wow,
and that's what Jamie is essentially saying. Why don't we all open our minds to possibilities?
Yeah,
and change.
I know the Cardinals just had a hell of a series versus the Los Angeles Dodgers. They won 2 out of 3. The Padres and the Dodgers have kind of been going back and forth in that Western race division. The Padres could potentially, win that.
They play each other the next couple of days.
So they could easily be in front by the end of that series, right? The Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. The Padres.
Let's hope not.
Anthony.
How embarrassing.
Anthony.
How embarrassing. That'd be incredible.
Carey,
that would be incredible.
I love you.
Don't show your face around here no more.
But I want you to realistically understand that the Dodgers are making the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You can put it in a pin.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They should. Kind of.
Yeah. Padres as well. Like they are 2 of the top teams. The New York Mets, pretty damn good as well. Philadelphia Phillies, pretty good. Cardinals did beat them also. They had a good series against them. I don't think it's any way, unless the Giants somehow begin to falter and take a step back, which is possible.
That's a really young division. That's a really young
but the
lineup too.
The team that concerns me, and I know they are stinking right now. They start
team lost 7 straight.
The team, they still
the Braves.
They got some. Yeah, they're getting people back.
9.5 games out of the wild card.
They've lost 7.
They've lost 7 straight.
Not great.
But and I know that is a team that could figure some things out.
Mm-hmm.
So for
Carey,
me,
what you're saying then, if I'm correct, okay, is what? Sorry, I had a thought. Did I cut you off? No, sorry. Go ahead.
I know when the thoughts pop in your brain, you got to get them out immediately. Otherwise, they go elsewhere.
The hamster falls off.
Yeah,
the hamster wakes up and starts sprinting.
Yeah, you got it.
Sorry.
I like to picture my Jamie Rivers hamsters just off the wheel, and then finally wakes up almost like he's like a robot, and then he just. Yeah,
sprint,
he just
then
starts
falls out of the wheel again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of how it is, actually. Carey, I apologize first and foremost.
Yeah, that's good.
Secondly, though, is if you're telling me, if you're sitting there saying, well, the Cardinals, I don't know, they're one game out, I don't know, but then you're digging your heels in on a team that's 9.5 games out.
I think that team has a much better roster.
But do you think they have a much better chance than the Cardinals?
Because they have a much better roster, I would have to say yes.
But that roster's not playing very well right now.
It's not. What
happened to the Mets a couple of years ago with that massive roster?
Not great.
So it's hard for me to hear you say, I'm leaning towards the Braves rather than the Cardinals.
I just said I think the Braves could figure some things out. And they have lost 7 straight, but I think they can figure some things out. I do think the Cardinals, with all of that being said, I do think the Cardinals need to win the division in order to make the playoffs, which is going to be a tall task as well.
Yeah, I just don't think that's the only
You haven't played the Cubs yet, so you still have multiple games versus them, have an opportunity to surpass them if you're close enough when that series arises. But for me, I think they have to win the division in order for this team to make the playoffs. I think it's going to be too hard. It's kind of like how it was last year. They were in that position last year. No, they're 3 or 4 games, but there were so many teams ahead of them that you had to jump in front of.
Yeah, but you were not playing the same kind of baseball.
This is different.
It is.
But I do think that those rosters, like I said, the only team that I could see potentially falling or faltering and kind of taking a step back that's in front of them right now is the Giants.
Could be.
So, but then again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Braves start figuring some things out as well.
All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have Marsh has what's trending for us, including one specific Dodger that's a bit of a crybaby. That's next on 101 ESPN. If you're looking to upgrade your bathroom, but you're worried about cost, and hey, who isn't? With Mosby Building Arts, you don't have to have all of the money up front and still get the absolute best company to do your bathroom remodel. Again, that's Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company. Right now at Mosby, you could get 5% off, 12 months, no payments, or bathroom remodels from just $299 a month with approved credit. Even small updates like new tile, fresh fixtures, or a modern vanity can make a big impact on your everyday happiness. So you could start small, feel big, and remember, your home is always a smart investment. You got to request your appointment by June 30th at callmosby.com for that 5% off, the 12 months, no payments, or the bathroom remodels from just $299 a month. But go with Mosby Building Arts. They're the company that we trust within our household here in the Stalter family, and you won't regret it. The construction team, they're incredibly courteous. They left our house in what I can only imagine is even better shape than they leave their own house. But when it comes to making sure the house is wrapped so you don't get a lot of dust or anything that's going on, they do that right. The pricing is always honest and upfront, and they constantly have people checking in to make sure your project is going well. So go with Mosby Building Arts, the right remodeling company.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals take 2 of 3 against Carey's Dodgers over the weekend. The Cardinals will be back in action tonight, taking on Mumsy Rivers. Toronto Blue Jays. First pitch tonight is at 6:45. Andre Pallante on the mound for the Cardinals. Jose Barrios on the mound for the Blue Jays. The Battlehawks lost yesterday 36-18 against the DC Defenders in the XFL Conference Championship. We had a few conversations about the UFL. If you missed those conversations, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there, and it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tonight on 101 ESPN, we'll have Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final as the Panthers go up against the Oilers. That series is tied at 1 apiece. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
I think it's a little bush league, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries.
What are the hot topics in the sports world?
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Anthony, you called Clayton Kershaw a baby, as we just heard what he had to say.
That's right.
As it pertains to the video of Matt Adams' home run against Clayton Kershaw in the 2014 NLDS. It was on loop before yesterday's game, and you heard Clayton Kershaw saying, I think it's a little bush league, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries. And I don't think it was any worry to him, as he pitched pretty well yesterday against the Cardinals. What do you think?
I said it. I think he's a baby. I think he's acting like a big baby in all this. Now, playing the video on loop, it's a tad much. I wish they just played it once. That would have been great. But still, you throw a shot back. I wouldn't expect anything left from these guys. Okay.
That's the part that's weird to me, is the Cardinals' reputation as an organization is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty solid. You can think what you want about the DeWitts and spending money on it, but the organization itself is known to be a class act organization. The fans are known to be a class act when it comes to being baseball fans, knowledgeable and, good baseball fans. So for Clayton Kershaw, I expect nothing more than that from these guys. Now, what they should have done is played not just that one, but the Matt Carpenter double all the time.
They should have played both of them.
Yeah, instead of just having it on loop, why don't you just play the whole game?
Just play the whole, every time.
Yeah. They should have done, they should have showed a picture of Clayton Kershaw with his hands on his knees and then showed a fan to recreate that, so then they could go to all the fans at Busch Stadium and give your best Clayton Kershaw pose.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Where you're just hands on your knees.
Right.
Head down, and then maybe they have another one where he's looking at the ball going into the stands. Maybe one of those. Just hey.
I like your idea, Marsh. I like your creativity.
I got loads of ideas.
Droid FX says, is it Bush League when a guy like Tommy Edman comes back to St. Louis and gets a standing ovation?
Wow.
Go ask your teammate.
You hate that.
Clayton. Well, if it's for Tommy Edman, fine. But if it's for
I'm fine with Tommy Edman.
I'm not even, for Taylor Motter, we gotta stop.
Well, that would require him.
Actually,
we gotta cut it off at some point. And I think,
how I feel about that.
Yeah.
No,
it's more
it's more for the fans than for the player.
Right.
What?
Albert, fine. Matt Holliday, great.
Hold on.
What?
What are you saying? The fans want you to know that they're the best fans?
Yeah.
Is that why they do it? Not because they are truly appreciative.
They just want to send a message to the rest of the league.
We're the only ones that do this.
We know
on
it's
certain players.
Brandon Crawford coming back. He played 12 games for us, but we're up on our feet. You know why? Because we're the best here. And then you tap your buddy on the shoulder. Yeah. Good job.
Good job.
Yeah. See that? We're great.
Yeah.
I think it's a respect thing. And I like when the fans do it.
All players, though.
Carey, you're the one that told me that.
I just learned that today.
Come on.
Yeah, right. You guys.
All players.
Come on. Really? You guys are.
I think it's fine for Matt Carpenter, Albert Pujols, like Harrison Bader. I think all of that is fine.
You guys are harsh, man.
When you get to the lower, you're like, really? Even the players, like, no.
Right. Yeah.
There's like Kevin Hayes this year when the Blues gave him a little tribute, like a little shout out, and he was like, "No, get the camera off me. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. My time here wasn't very illustrious."
Right. I was here for a year. Didn't make a playoff.
Speaking of the Blues, though, Jim Montgomery finished 4th in the Jack Adams voting. Spencer Carberry wins the award. Scott Arniel of the Winnipeg Jets came in 2nd. Martin St. Louis, who coached the Montreal Canadiens, came in 3rd place. And then Jim Montgomery is 4th ahead of Dean Evanson with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Do you guys believe that Jim Montgomery should have came in 4th place? Or do you think maybe he should have been in the top 3? Is this a good spot for Jim Montgomery this season?
Yeah, I think so. So here's the hard part, and I know because I actually got to vote last 2 years for Coach of the Year. It's the broadcasters that vote. And Spencer Carberry, for me, was a runaway. The Washington Capitals, I mean, they limped into the playoffs last year, and they were in the President's Trophy running right to the very end of the season. Mm-hmm. Phenomenal head coach. So that, to me, it's a no-brainer. I then had Martin St. Louis. The Montreal Canadiens, who the hell thought the Canadiens were going to make the playoffs?
Besides Carey, man? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about it.
But nobody. Like, it's like, they're going to have another rough one. And they're talking about, all of a sudden, holy crap, they're in the playoffs? Mm-hmm. So that's a credit to Marty St. Louis. Jim Montgomery, where his stock got hurt was the fact that he was fired from a team. So obviously, according to the Bruins, he wasn't doing a very good job as a head coach.
And, I mean, in defense of Boston, they rallied and made the playoffs. So.
Yeah, no, they did nothing, actually. They just plummeted. But
oh, yeah. How'd they finish?
Dead last.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Dead last.
Great season.
But for Monty, then he has a massive comeback with the Blues, gets the Blues in the playoffs. So people really didn't see that coming. The one for me, like Arniel, like I know they won the President's Trophy, but on paper he had a hell of a team, too. I don't know. I didn't feel like that was as impressive. It sounds stupid, right? The guy was the best team in the NHL. I'm not impressed. I guess I like the underdog story a little more.
Yeah.
I think that's unfortunate, though. I think being the best team and not having the best coach is people tend to vote for a team that they didn't expect to have a great season. If you're the best team and you have the best record, they're like, you were supposed to, though. Look at who you had.
Meanwhile, that coaching job might be even harder.
Yeah, I got to manage it.
You're right. But anyways, back to the original question. I think Jim Montgomery deserves to be in the top 5 for sure, and who knows where he'll be next year.
I think the big question, and we never talked about this when it came out, but the finalists for the General Manager of the Year award, how is Doug Armstrong not in the top 3?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, I don't see what Kevin Cheveldayoff did. Like, I really don't. He basically ran it back with the same team. Mm-hmm. Jim Nill did it. He's good at his. Bill Zito, to me, is a runaway.
Barry's brother.
Yeah. No, cousin, actually, his father's side. Yeah. Zito, to me, is the runaway because it's so hard in today's NHL to have a team that goes to Stanley Cup, Stanley Cup in the salary cap era. And we saw, I rang off the names, the group of names that left this team, and then the group of players he picked up. Like, Bill Zito did a fantastic job. Now, I think Doug Armstrong should be a finalist for a couple of reasons. One, orchestrating the first and only ever double offer sheet move to get Broberg and Holloway. Mm-hmm. And then also trading for Cam Fowler. Mm-hmm. And then getting out from under the Brandon Saad contract.
And hiring Jim Montgomery.
Like, there are a lot of things that Army did very well, whereas Cheveldayoff and even Jim Nill, like, I don't know if they did as much from an actual like roster construction standpoint. Like maybe they're getting credit now for what they did 2 years ago, which you shouldn't be because it's year to year.
Yeah.
So anyways.
Last thing here, the Packers released Jair Alexander after 7 seasons. Which team in the NFL do you believe would benefit by picking up Jair Alexander?
Oh, man, any contender. Any contender would need... Most contenders need cornerback help.
Everybody needs a...
He's had trouble staying on the roster, though. He's been hurt a lot.
Yeah, which, of course, that's one of the reasons why Green Bay said forget about it. What about Washington?
Pittsburgh.
What about the Bears?
Well, they did have a cornerback that was looking in the stands last
Hey, you know what? The game was over.
It actually wasn't over yet. They were still playing.
I forgot about that. Oh, my gosh.
That literally derailed their season. And it sparked the Commanders to go to the NFC Championship game.
That's correct. I think Chicago makes a lot of sense for Jair Alexander.
In the division?
Tyreek Stevenson is the player that did that, and he was a second-round pick.
In the division?
They've got, It usually happens that way, where a player stays in the division after just getting released. I don't know why, but... What about your Vikings, Marsh?
Yeah, I've seen some rumblings on the interwebs that maybe the Vikings would pick him up. And, I think with Brian Flores being able to put players in other positions and make it work, I think that would be a good fit. They did the same thing with Aaron Jones. They brought him from Green Bay last year, and I thought he was very good for.
He was excellent
for the Vikings. So, hey, I'm all for it. Maybe repair that relationship between Jair Alexander and Justin Jefferson.
There you go.
So, who knows?
I say Minnesota or Chicago. That's where Jair Alexander winds up.
And it is funny when you talk about like the interdivisional rivalries with these players, because that would make sense for a player to want to go to a team within the division to sort of
stick it to them.
Stick it to the mon, Stick it to the moniosis.
Moniosis?
Yeah, it's a rare blood disease, Anthony.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
that's mono.
No.
Ileosis.
No, that's a different one.
It's how you play in Battle of the Bands, Anthony.
Oh, okay.
When you miss out on your time slot, you got to make up a rare blood disease.
That's right. Make sure you get
so those
up
kids
there on
can
stage.
play Battle of the Bands.
Good call on that. That's a documentary. You guys should watch it sometime. Is it imperative that teams create an environment that players want to stay in? Yeah. Especially when you got a player that's going to make 8 to 10 mil and you want to keep them. That's next on 101 ESPN. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Is it imperative that teams create an environment that players want to stay in? I think we can all answer that yes, but is there a real-life example? Jamie, you've got one in the Florida Panthers right now.
Yeah, so Sam Bennett, obviously one of the most sought-after free agents that could be potentially available. Well, it's looking like Sam Bennett and the Florida Panthers are in talks right now, and it was projected that he could get up to around $10 million a year. Mm-hmm. Probably a 6 or 7 year deal at $10 million a year. I mean, it's unbelievable money. But it looks like the number in Florida could be like $8 million a year. So the first thing you think of is, oh, well, it's the tax break. You know, $8 million in Florida is the same.
Never existed.
It's the same as $10 million in Toronto or whatever. You're right, ish. I mean, give or take the state or Canada, whatever you're dealing with. You're right with that. But, you know, Sam Bennett, you know, he's on record talking about things that have nothing to do with dollar value. He talks about how he loves living in South Florida. His family loves it. They live in a nice spot, obviously. Loves taking the golf cart to practice facility every day, brings the kids to the practice facility. They play around out there. They've got all sorts of like outdoor hockey rinks and roller rinks and pickleball and all these things that are all around the practice rink. And, you know, loves the fact that he's playing on a winning team that looks like it's going to be a winning team for an extended period of time. The core group of Barkov, Kachuk, Reinhart, Verhaeghe, like all of those guys are long-term.
Yep.
So the Florida Panthers have created an environment where the fact that they have beautiful weather and the beach and all that, I mean, that's luck, okay? But they're using it to their advantage. And like the practice facility was built and then they went back in and tore up a whole area and made a big parking lot specifically for the players' golf carts. Because the players were taking golf carts to the rink every day. The team was like, oh, well, okay, we create a little parking lot back here for the guys. Mm-hmm. It's an unbelievable environment that they have created there. Paul Maurice, a fantastic coach. Bill Zito we just talked about, a GM that's willing to just keep doing whatever it takes to keep this team winning. So the environment that you create for some of these players ultimately can pay off when you have a guy like Sam Bennett who could hit the open market, and he might still, who knows, but he's in active talks right now to want to stay in Florida. So for me, it's imperative that the winning is always number one. If you're playing on a winning team, odds are you like being in that spot. But it's the outside things, Carey, and you know this too, is like if your wife is set up properly, your girlfriend, you know, the kids, the schools, like the area that you live in, all this stuff. If life is easy and good for you as a pro athlete, why would you want to leave that?
I think the winning, as you said, is the number one thing. Having an opportunity to win another championship, like all of those things, and maybe more down the line, all of those things play a major part into it. But like you said, just the being familiar with a place. Like when you go somewhere new, you have to become familiar with the city. It was like 500 bridges when I got to Pittsburgh. I didn't know. You take the wrong one, you up at the top of Mount Washington. You don't know where the hell you are. Like you can literally get lost. So it's being familiar with a place, being comfortable with a place. Your kids in a school, maybe you're noticing that they're flourishing in a certain area because of where you're living now, and that's going well. And it's more than just the player that is involved. It's the whole entire family. It's moving, which is tiresome. Like it is
grueling on everybody.
Yes. Like moving, not just from a different city, like not just moving from, North County to Creve Coeur.
No.
Like
changing state,
cross country. So it is a lot. It is very, it's usually something that if you are able to avoid and you're comfortable where you are, and obviously, like you said, the winning culture helps in that. It helps make that decision easier to stay. I don't know that it all depends on the money. Now, he is taking a haircut, right? If you're going to take $3 to $4 million less, that's a haircut.
He is.
But if you're comfortable and you've made enough money thus far, or you know that you're going to continue to make money, maybe you look at it and say quality of life is better here than it would be anywhere else.
So the Blues have kind of started to do that here as well. Cam Fowler had the Blues on his no-trade list. It wasn't a team he was willing to go to. Then he started doing some homework, talked to some players, talked about Jim Montgomery, and he decided, you know what, let's give it a shot. Within 2 weeks of living here, he was moving his entire family here.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year presser talks about how he'd love to stay here long term if the Blues would have him, if it works out right. How do you build that, though? Like, we talk about the winning, that's one thing. But how much work goes into creating these environments where players feel safe in their environment and they don't want to leave? Mm-hmm. Like, that's a hard thing to do.
Well, I think you mentioned some of them, Jamie. I mean, I think one, it's just about having a great culture and leadership. You've got a couple of guys that, whether it's Matthew Tkachuk or Barkov or Bennett, they lead by example. Mm-hmm. But the Panthers, I feel like, based on some of the research I've done, you would know more about it, Jamie, they kind of promote individuality among their players. Like,
absolutely.
You don't have to do it's no cookie cutter approach. It's like you get to be you get to be you get to you, with, of course, the goal being let's win and let's do it the right way. But I think that when you embrace that as a team and hire coaches like Paul Maurice that encourage that goes a long way too, because you start to feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And not comfortable content, but comfortable in that I can be me and I can do my job now. So I think that is certainly a big factor. I think coaching development. You mentioned the family and life balance too. I think obviously it starts with that culture and leadership. But then when you branch off from there, which way are you going? If you're using certain things like the golf, players kind of care about some of that stuff. It matters. If you lead with that's where teams get. These are professional players with families. Most of them. We're not talking about college recruits where it's like, hey, look at this. We got a big locker room. What do you think? No, not TVs. Yeah, won't find out anywhere else. Like that's. You're missing it. So I think Florida just does everything right, quite frankly. And I think the Blues do it very well, too.
I mean, because I think another thing that helps make it easier is you already won a championship. So you're not chasing anything. Like, you're not.
No, but when they started building it, they hadn't won anything.
But I'm saying right now, he's already won a championship. Right. Like, you're already.
But he also believes that this is his best chance to keep winning championships.
Because he's already won one. Yeah. Like, if you hadn't won one, you might be looking at, I don't know, maybe the Oilers can pay me some. Oh, okay. Another team that you feel, maybe the Dallas Stars, they got some, maybe
they're closer.
They're close.
I could be the missing piece,
There you go. So having already won that championship makes it easier. We got everything I need here, and we've already proven 3 years in a row that we got everything we need here. There's no need to go anywhere else.
So sidebar to this, and this was a thought I had when I came up with it, is, players used to be traded to the Cardinals. They talk about the Cardinal way and all this stuff. And then once they got here, they didn't want to leave. Mm-hmm. A lot like some of the Blues players, now the Panthers. Is it strictly the winning, though? Like,
well, there's a reason why you and Carey led off with that. I do think it's a huge.
Yeah, like, you don't want to go sit in a spot. You want to win a championship. Middling team for,
And obviously it depends on where you're at, too. But, I mean, we saw players like Giancarlo Stanton, for example, not want to come to St. Louis and want to go to the 4 teams that were previously in the championship series the year before. Why? Because he felt like that was his best chance to win.
Yeah.
I think there has always been. I think people wanted to play here because of the fans. Like, oh, it's always packed. This is awesome. This is unbelievable, right? Fans are a huge part of it. The culture is a huge part of it. People love sports here. It's a sports city. But all that goes by the wayside if you're not winning. So I do think a large part of it is winning. But building that culture first is important.
I think it goes into the culture part, and there's different aspects to it. Here in St. Louis, I think both the Cardinals and the Blues have a really good alumni. Mm-hmm. And, Jamie, you can talk about that, where former players like Jamie and other people a part of the Cardinals organization, I think they make the current players feel welcomed, and they help that transition if they are new, and that's why they want to stay. They see how many people did stay, and there's reasons for that, and that's part of the culture that's been set here in St. Louis. I can't speak to other organizations throughout sports. They probably have their own reasons, own culture, but here in St. Louis, I definitely think the alumni play a huge part of that.
Yeah, and I think that's something the Cardinals are missing out on now. Is they used to have, you hear the players, Jim Edmonds and all those guys talk about the days where they get to spring training and there's 15, 20 alumni, some of the best Cardinals Hall of Famers sitting there waiting, talking to them in the clubhouse, on the field. Mm-hmm. And they've kind of gotten away from that. They have some guys, but you talk to the players now, or to the former players, the alumni guys, it's less and less. They got away from it for a while. I think it's a big part of it. Players who are in the game currently respond quicker and better to players that have been in their shoes before.
Yeah.
And they ask questions, especially new guys. They ask questions about this, that, the other, because it's exciting to hear from somebody who's been there. So
absolutely,
maybe the Cardinals get some of those alumni guys back into it.
Oh, the 314 says, guys, did you forget the free-ish zoo? No.
Oh, yeah. That's a great call.
That's always in place. Top of the list.
Somebody brought up Toaster Ravs, too, in the Snake Pit. I agree.
Is the free zoo better than the free beach?
Yes, of course. The free beach doesn't have penguins.
No, it's got sharks.
No, no one likes those.
Not yours,
San Jose Sharks.
Anthony.
Well, on the other side.
Well, we're talking Florida.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think you.
They don't have the. What is the
manatees.
Character?
The sea cow.
The zoo logo, the chupacabra.
Oh, yeah.
Or the.
No,
what is it?
I don't think that's.
That would be awesome, though. Really, what? Come see the chupacabra. No, I don't think it was that either.
Something.
There's something weird. It's got those
deer and antelope combined.
The male deer.
The male Dale something.
Yeah. If I hear it again, I'll know what it is.
Right. Yep.
That cost me that.
But you're not going to hear it because we don't know what it is.
Starts with a K.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure the text line will help us out.
That's fine.
We'll figure it out.
Male something.
It is a male.
Kuda something.
Kuda Cairo.
Kudu.
The male kudu. Male lesser kudu.
The male lesser kudu. That's right. Kudu starts with a
C.
K.
Thank you.
I didn't want to get that.
Thank you. I knew it started with a K. All right.
I love how we just workshopped that.
Yeah, we did a great job. Yep.
That's assuming we got the right one.
We got it right. Come on. Don't even look it up. Don't even Google it.
I'm not.
Carey Davis wants to sewer me about the Cardinals. That's something I didn't say last Friday. That's next on 101 ESPN.
We have audio.
Guys, over 162 games, it really is just three games. It's still only 3 games in 162. I don't know. It's a measuring stick, kind of. That was me spitting some facts on Friday afternoon. Carey, though, is going to use that audio as an opportunity to confuse everybody.
Oh, no.
Or maybe divert everybody's attention from the fact that he's been a Dodgers fan since the World Series a year ago. So, Carey, please, go for it, man.
As we were doing our show prep, I wrote some things down that we could take into the show. And one of the topics that I wrote for our show today is our Cardinals, Carey, Marsh, and Jamie, took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. Anthony still doesn't believe them. Ken Rosenthal explains why Anthony is wrong. And so Ken Rosenthal wrote a piece on The Athletic saying that baseball is much like theater. You know, you have your people that you know, the stars of the shows, the Tigers, Dodgers, Yankees, you know, the ones you know. The people that, what happens, I don't know, maybe the Orioles, the Rangers, what happened here? And then the bad guys, the guys that you knew it was going to be terrible for them, White Sox, Rockies, Pirates, etc. And then you have your plot twist. Shows up in the middle of the movie. You're like, what? I didn't expect that to happen.
Didn't see that coming.
At all.
Wow.
And that is where Ken Rosenthal ranks the Cardinals.
Wow, the Cardinals
they
are Shutter
this
Island.
Year's plot twist. No one expected them here.
Well, he's not wrong.
No one expected them to be as good as they are. Right now, they have the same record as the AL West leading Houston Astros. Anthony, you're wrong.
6 cents.
You said that it didn't matter. It's only 3 games. It's 3 of 162 in the middle of June. Nobody's watching. Nobody cares.
Yeah, seems like a lot of people were watching.
Kinda is what you said. I heard it. We got the audio.
Cardinals were dead the entire time.
They were.
That's the plot twist.
And here, and lo and behold, like the Undertaker rises from the dead. Here we are, ready to take on the world. Anthony, what do you have to say for yourself? Because I and we're ashamed. We are ashamed of you.
Really?
Right at the end.
Really? Carey, you are ashamed of me.
Yep. What you said last week? We heard it. You got the audio, Marsh?
Yeah, this is it.
It's Captain Bandwagon.
No. Oh, wait, that was for you.
Marshy, that's the wrong audio.
Whoops. So that's Carey's file.
I can't trust Marshy now either. Jamie, just you and I.
I don't know. I'm worried about what he's got on me.
Kind of. Do we have the audio of Carey at the start of the season talking about how when the Dodgers were going to come into town in June, he was going to go see his Dodgers?
Oh, Anthony, there's too many of those days. I don't know if I'll be able to find it.
That file's too big.
The file's too big. Won't download. You know, Carey, for somebody that has told us repeatedly, whether it's the Blues season or during the Cardinal season, that you weren't going to ride the roller coaster, it certainly seems that we have a photo of you right now riding a roller coaster, and we got the photo of you and your hands in the air, and you're like, you're enjoying it all. So when did you jump on the roller coaster, Carey?
I'm not on the roller coaster. I just know good ball when I see it.
Okay.
You do.
I do.
You guys want to play a game here?
Yes.
This is a documentary. This gentleman named Neo has the choice between the red pill or the blue pill.
Oh,
Here I have the red glasses or the blue glasses.
Oh, I like this.
Which one will Carey Davis choose? Close your eyes.
Oh, good call. So we're forcing him. So yeah, close your eyes, Carey, and choose one of the glasses because
that's not fair.
Your subconscious,
might as well.
Your subconscious will tell us.
This needs to be on video. And whichever one Marshy hands me is where I'm going.
No. You got to choose left hand or right hand.
See.
Tell me right now.
All right, give me your left hand.
Oh, jeez.
No!
Oh!
Well, what do you know? What do you know? Yo, the damn Dodgers came into St. Louis. They lost a couple, but they righted the ship at the end. You see Mookie Betts? Did you see Freddie? How about Shohei? You know what? He is the guy, and everybody knows it, and he's going to do wait till he starts pitching again. You all ain't seen nothing yet. The Dodgers, it was a rough weekend. Friday night, just getting into town, probably a little tired, hungover, whatever, a little tired. Yeah, tuckered out. Saturday, had an opportunity, got to Ryan Helsley, didn't they? They sure as hell did. Sure as hell did get to Helsley, and they unfortunately threw the ball away. Mason Wynn, hell of a player. Love to watch him. Made a great play, scored. But Sunday was the true depiction of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They're just a better team. I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay? All right. Thank you.
Subconsciously, we knew that Carey would choose
tough.
the Dodgers.
No one really
was
wasn't.
tough.
No.
I think Marshy changed his hands.
I did. We're watching it.
It's on video.
It's on video.
There's no denying it.
No.
You chose your true love.
Yeah. Get the hell up out of here now, Carey.
Can I go now?
This didn't go.
No, in fact, you have to stay even longer today.
Carey, this didn't go how you thought it was going to go, huh?
I didn't.
No.
But, you know, I'm a gamer. Like I said, I didn't lose one game this weekend.
Oh, man.
But Anthony, you should believe in these Cardinals.
I do.
You should.
I do believe in the Cardinals.
You should believe in them more. Because we established 2 years ago, if you don't believe, they will not achieve.
Remember when you told the fans they didn't believe it's their fault? That's a good day for radio.
Yeah.
It's your fault, St. Louis Cardinals fans, because you didn't believe.
That was on the heels of the Matthew Tkachuk. That was really when Ranthony was born, because that was Matthew Tkachuk not going to the Blues. And then it was
he blamed everybody in St. Louis for all of it.
But do you remember why?
All of it.
I didn't believe enough.
It's your fault Kachuk's not here. It's your fault that Juan Soto.
Do you know why, though? Do you remember? Because people were blaming us.
Yeah.
Because they said that we hyped it up too much that Matthew Tkachuk was going to be a Blue, and we talked too much about Juan Soto being a Cardinal, so it was our faults. And I just turned the tables.
You sure did. You sure did.
Anthony, I think it's only appropriate if you combat CD in his Dodger take with how you feel about the Cardinals.
I'm glad you asked, Marsh. You know, one thing that my co-host Carey Davis didn't do was point out the fact that the Cardinals took 2 of 3, which wins the series. You talked about righting the ship for the Dodgers, and you completely overlooked the fact that our Cardinals, Jamie Marsh and my Cardinals, won 2 out of 3. Why? With excellent pitching. Guess what, Dodgers? You've got 487 starting pitchers in your rotation, all bought and paid for, and all on the injured list. Your injured list, you've spent more on your injured pitchers than half the league in Major League Baseball. That's all right? And you still lost 2 of 3 here in St. Louis to our Cardinals. Wilson Contreras, you like that home run the other night there, Jamie?
Loved it.
Yeah, you did. So he's back. He's ready to go. Tommy Edman got his standing. Oh, good to see him. But guess what? Brendan Donovan's been better. He's been better. And Shohei Ohtani, when's he going to pitch again? Is he going to pitch? Probably not.
It's not good
Because
enough.
if he does, he's wearing the Dodger uniform. He'll probably throw his arm out. Because that's what happens to Dodgers pitching. And don't get me started on Clayton Kershaw. Nice job, Clayton. All right. You talk about The Undertaker, Clayton Kershaw rising from the dead. He can go back to sleep now that he got his revenge on the Cardinals. Guess what? The Matt Adams hit, that game still mattered a hell of a lot more than one yesterday there, Clayton. Cardinals going to win the NL Central. Dodgers are going to miss the playoffs because I got a little secret for everybody. The Padres and Giants are better.
I think it's a little Bush League, but I don't expect anything less from these guys, so it's no worries.
Nice.
Tell him, Clay.
Clay. Got our Sports Six Pack next. You got a question for us? 314-399-9646 is the Air Comfort Service text line. Sports Six Pack next.
Cheap, fun. Let's get dirty at Dirt Cheap. My friends over there have incredible deals daily. They've got summer savings going on for Bud Light, Busch Light, Modelo, Corona, High Noons, Cutwater, Twisted Tea. I mean, those are just a few to name, and it's the best time of the year. Summer's right here, the nice weekends. Maybe there's some grad parties. You got July 4th coming up. You got Cardinals afternoon games that you can check out on the TV, enjoying some stuff from my friends over at Dirt Cheap. And don't be fooled by the name, by the way. Dirt Cheap is about the prices, not the brands. I get all of my stuff, all my bourbons, tequilas, vodkas, everything from Dirt Cheap. They do a fantastic job, and I absolutely love their customer service. Second to none. By the way, they get in there, you talk to the representatives, they're going to find whatever they can for you in the store, and they're always trying to get you the best price. Don't be afraid, to sign up for the Dirt Cheap Rewards. Get on the app and start using that, and it's awesome. Every time you purchase something, you get a little reward. Eventually, that translates into dollars that you can use at Dirt Cheap. They've got new locations in Fredericktown, Washington, and Hillsborough, with another one coming soon in Wentzville. Don't forget that they have drive-through and pickup service available, and all of that available at Dirt Cheap. So check out everything online at cheapcheapfunfun.com. It's your one-stop party shop. Remember to have fun, but be careful out there.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is refreshed by the Finnish Long Drink, Finland's best-kept secret. A sparkling citrus beverage made with real liquor. Visit thelongdrink.com. Must be 21 years of age or older. Drink responsibly.
Time for our Sports Six-Pack here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter, and here is Andrew Marsh with question one, please.
Question number one.
All right, this one comes from the 801. News just broke that TJ Oshie officially retired. Is that a surprise to anyone?
Nah, I saw this coming. He'd been battling some injuries over the last couple of years, and I think the body's just given out on poor TJ Oshie. I mean, he's a player that never shied away from the physical stuff. Kind of not famous, but kind of famous for keeping the reverse shoulder going after Peter Forsberg brought that to the league. And TJ Oshie used it a number of times on guys. And I mean, man, what a career for TJ Oshie. You know, he played very well here in St. Louis. Then he gets traded to Washington. Well, first of all, with the Blues, he's got the TJ Sochi, the Olympics, where he single-handedly dismantled the Russian team in the shootout victory that they had there.
And I feel like opened the door for the NHL to bring in the shootout.
Probably, yeah.
I kind of feel like that was the momentum that was gained from that, because everybody loved that.
There was a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then he goes on to win a Stanley Cup with the Capitals. And here's the thing about TJ Oshie is always an unbelievable ball of positive energy. Love being at the rink. Love being on the ice. Love being around his teammates. Like, never had a bad day at the rink. And that's what made him very special and unique. And he's a really great dude. And just congrats to him on an awesome career.
Question number 2.
From the 314, my buddy stole this from another show. If you could give one person a second chance at their career, who would it be? And this does not include the people that ruined their career off the field.
By the way, the shootout was introduced before that. My bad.
It's all right.
Way before that, in fact.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah, this is my first pick, Bo Jackson.
What was the question? Sorry. I was
If you could give somebody a second chance at their career.
Bo Jackson, 100%.
Yeah, Bo Jackson.
Not even close.
Not even close. Yeah. Nope. Not even close at all.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any.
Bobby Orr is another one, too. Bobby Orr had knee problems. Bobby Orr had knee problems that today would put him on the shelf for 3 to 4 weeks, but pretty much ended his career way back when. And had he been able to play with good knees for his whole career, like who knows what the records would be for Bobby Orr. And I know that's going back quite a ways. A lot of people don't know maybe who he is or what he did, but ask any player that's done anything in their career, and they'll always mention, like, Bobby Orr is an inspiration. Wayne Gretzky talks about it. Paul Coffey talks about it. Ray Bourque talks about it. Like, Bobby Orr was the very first version ever of what you're watching in Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes and those guys. He's just an amazing player.
Question number 3.
From the 314, the French Open final stole the headlines this weekend. Did you happen to see Carlos Alcaraz come back down 2 sets and save 3 match points to beat world number 1 Jannik Sinner? I think I'm saying that correctly. Hope some of you got to check it out. Did you guys happen to check out the French Open final?
I did, but I gave all my notes to Jamie.
Yeah, and what happened is I had my notes out on the back of the truck, and the sprinkler system went off this morning. And
really?
Kind of soaked it up a little.
I told you to not put them
It wasn't
outside.
on purpose. Is I was putting some of the hockey camp stuff in, so I put the papers there, and then it went off, and I ran in because it surprised me. I didn't want to get wet, and then I looked back, and there are the papers. But I did manage, though, to scan a copy of those, and I did email them to CD.
Yeah, my email was down today. I don't know if you all had that problem. My work email wasn't.
No, mine was fine.
I couldn't log in. For some reason, I tried my phone. I tried my laptop. Even tried the work computer. I talked to Reddy about it later. See if he can get me logged in. For whatever reason, it just didn't populate on my.
Sorry about that, Carey.
Yeah, unfortunately. Wow. So I didn't get to see Alcaraz beat Sinner, but I have seen the movie Sinners, which is outstanding. You all should go check it out.
I've seen it too.
Yeah.
Any relation to the...
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I didn't see how Sinner was playing. If I got to see, maybe if he was moving a little slow, maybe he was one of the people that was in the movie Sinners, and those weren't good people. So it's kind of people that live for a long time.
Yeah,
really live for a long time.
Going back to the previous question, Gershie's Kiss also brings up a good point. Alvin Mack.
Yeah, he missed out.
Alvin Mack actually is the correct answer.
Missed out on a hell of a career.
It's not Bo Jackson.
Come on, man.
I'm going to be completely honest. I did not watch it. I'm not a huge tennis guy.
What? You didn't watch
see it?
Well, we got the notes. You didn't.
Well, you guys didn't share those notes with me.
I thought
Jamie typically sends me a post on X. I didn't get that either, so I didn't see it.
I apologize. You know, Marshy, that's our fault.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you guys are taking responsibility. Yeah. And I feel bad for the listener that texted this in because it was the highlight of the weekend.
Well, Nick said amazing event. Drama's top tier. Those two are this generation's Agassi and Sampras.
Yeah.
I understand not being drawn into it, but that blank is high quality, top tier talent. Absolutely. Well, that's one of the notes I had for Jamie and then Carey and
Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras.
It was very long. I believe it was like 5 hours, give or take. I don't know if the fans stood the entire time.
Wow.
Well, it's not a City SC game.
Question number 4.
From 314. Do any of you believe Paul Skeens will be dealt at the deadline?
What is wrong with you?
I totally set him up for that. From 314, do any of you believe Paul Skeens will be dealt at the deadline? His production, his last few starts, probably what this texture meant to text in. Last few starts have been unmatched, but with no offense, it is dead money. Do you guys think Paul Skeens will not be a Pirate come trade deadline time?
That's ridiculous.
No. At some point, he can't stay there.
But how many years? I mean, is he even in arbitration yet?
Let's see. He is.
I don't know.
Where are we at?
It's only his
I think he's still in pre-arb.
He's
So
in
no,
pre-arb.
I don't think there's any chance in hell
He got
that he's dealt.
5 years before he's a free agent.
Yeah, no.
Going back to the tennis question from the 314, all these lies. Just be honest and say the typewriter was out of ink.
That's exactly what it was.
It's a great text.
Question number 5.
From the 217, who is the most Bush League on the show and why is it Stalter?
What? I wouldn't say that about any of you guys, actually. I wouldn't.
That is a
And there's
fine
no crab
question.
sandwich in this.
No.
I wouldn't say any of you guys are Bush League.
Yeah.
Yeah, great guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to be. And even when you don't want to be.
That's
I don't
true.
think we're Bush League, though.
That was yeah. We're always authentically ourselves. Not
Some days
I'm not saying we're not great. I'm not saying we're good people. But, but we are. But we are all. Yeah, Marsha's. But we're all. Thanks. Authentically us.
Well said.
Thank you.
Question number 6.
Last one comes from part-time Nebraska fan who will represent the St. Louis Cardinals in the 2025 All-Star Game.
Oh, that's a really good question.
Brendan
Mason
Donovan.
Wynn. Oh, Brendan Donovan is a great answer.
Yeah, he's having a hell of a year.
You can't just skip over him.
And why is that?
I don't know.
That's because Carey doesn't want to extend him.
Nah, I don't think you
Carey,
have to.
this is a perfect question
He
for
wants
you.
the Cardinals to trade him to the Dodgers.
Why do they skip him over?
Why do they? Who? Fans? People?
Yeah,
Me?
even you. Somebody that loves batting average.
You got me. You got me.
Why do we just skip up? Why do we?
You've been waiting on that. You thought about that all weekend.
I really didn't. But it just it came right in my viewpoint.
You know, Trojan horse that thing. Boy, did he ever.
That's well done.
Here's a nice present for you.
That was well done.
Normally, thank you.
Yeah.
Carey, normally you even pause there for a second, which is very hard to do for us to get Carey to pause for a second.
have an
there
answer. Why he gets looked over in such a manner. His WAR must not be high enough.
This is very
No, I
high.
think it's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, you're not
Is it the
replacing him.
highest? Yeah, not with a AAA.
Oh, it's not. Let's not do this conversation again with the whole replacement players.
It was so easy the last time.
Oh man.
What the hell are we talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right.
All right. Man, we've been getting through 6-packs in one segment.
Yeah. I don't know if we do it well, but we got past it. Yep.
All right.
Got through it. Beat the streak, bet the board next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals have a date with the Toronto Blue Jays tonight after taking 2 of 3 against the Dodgers over the weekend. Andre Pallante on the mound going up against Jose Berrios. First pitch is at 6:45. The Battlehawks season comes to a close. They lose to the DC Defenders yesterday by a final score of 36-18 in the XFL Conference Championship. If you've missed anything from today's show, including our conversation about the Battlehawks, we talked about the Cardinals and your St. Louis Blues, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our shows there. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tonight on 101 ESPN, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. It's the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. That series is tied up 1 game apiece. Pregame starts at 6:30. Puck drop is at 7. Coming up next, we have Beat the Streak and Bet the Board. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming. And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Time to play Beat the Streak here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Justin is back with us as his streak continues as well. What's up, Justin?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yeah, same to you. Marsh, latest streaks.
All right, Carey has a streak of 6. He leads the pack. Jamie with a streak of 4. Anthony, you have a streak of 3. Justin has a streak of 3, and I also have a streak of 3.
All right, Carey.
Yeah. Give me Brendan Donovan.
Why?
He has a really high batting average, Anthony.
Nah. I don't know why you overlook him then.
I don't.
For
I
other
just picked
things.
him first.
For other things
Picked
in
him
life.
first. Nope. Picked him.
All right, Jamie.
Give me a Lars Nootbaar.
Okay. Justin.
I'm going to go Burley.
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 All right. Give me Bo Bichette.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
What do you mean?
Because he doesn't believe in the Cardinals.
The way he exhaled, tilted his head up like it's a Blue Jay.
Yeah, he doesn't believe. It's okay,
Bo
Anthony.
Bichette's a good player.
It's fine.
It's okay.
No, he's fine. You're right. He's a good player, Anthony.
I just need one hit. He's leading off.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Who did you go with?
Lars Nootbaar.
Who
He's leading
is?
off.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's a Cardinal.
You're not smart
You
that
got the
way.
wrong bird.
I wanted a
And you,
leadoff
of all
hitter.
people, should know your birds.
I do like a good falcon.
And you're an avid bird watcher.
I certainly am, yeah. Yeah, so I saw a mockingbird yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, rare
was it mocking?
Northern American mockingbird. He was mocking a different bird.
Was it a blue heron?
No, it was a robin.
Oh.
That he was mocking.
Was it Robin sad that he was being mocked?
Robin was pissed. Didn't appreciate the mockingbird's tone. Marsh, what's your pick?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mason Wynn.
Okay.
There it is.
All right. Marsh has had enough of us today. All right, here's how it goes. Carey's got Brendan Donovan. Jamie took Lars Taylor, Tetsui Nootbaar. Justin, our listener, took Alec Burleson. I selected Bo Bichette. And Andrew Marsh went with Mason Wynn. I believe he's doubling down.
Double down.
Doubling down. All right, Justin, good luck to you, man.
All right, thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
You too. You too. Absolutely. All right, from Beat the Streak to Bet the Board. All right, latest standings. Andrew Marsh.
All right, Anthony, you and I are tied currently right now with 3 points this month. Behind us is Jamie Rivers with 2, and Carey has 1.
All right.
What the heck is going on here?
Marsh, you're up.
I alluded to it earlier in the show. I'm doing this because Carey screwed us over on Friday night. Give me the Florida Panthers on the money line. And I believe they're at minus 142. Minus 142, Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final.
Okay. I believe in our Panthers, Jamie, which is why I'm going to go over 3.5 goals for them tonight.
Whoa.
Team total plus 100.
Whoa.
Plus 100.
Whoa.
Over 3.5.
All right.
They're going to win 4-3.
I hope so.
And overtime? What if all these games went to overtime?
That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
It would.
I like your overplay.
Thank you, sir.
And I hope that there's 2 goals in the first period. I'm going to go with the over in the first period. It's 1.5 at minus 140. Taking the over.
Let's get a 2-0 Panthers lead going into the first intermission.
Yes.
Carey.
I'm going to go with Kyle Tucker. 1.5 hits.
Boring.
Rinse, repeat.
Get on the board.
Go to the Stanley Cup. I mean, we got the game for you. We got the Oilers-Panthers Game 3 for you. Right here on 101 ESPN. We don't have the Cubs game.
Kyle Tucker.
He picked the Cubs last week, and it worked out for him. Just following his lead.
There was no game on, though, that night.
It's true.
It's limited, Carey.
I don't know that to be true.
I do.
Zach Wheeler's on the bump for the Phillies tonight.
Yeah, he's not going to pitch 9, so we're fine.
Wow. Okay.
He might.
He probably won't.
Now that you said it.
I know, Carey, at some point tonight during the game, can you just flat out say, Oilers are going to win this?
Sure.
Just at any point.
No.
I'll say it.
It wasn't Oilers are going to win. It's Florida's going to lose.
Either way.
Whatever. Pick your
Florida's gonna lose.
tomato.
Yeah.
Carey, how about you just wait until the game's over to shoot a text message into the...
Nope, doesn't count.
Yeah, you can talk about the Cardinals game, but let's stay away from that Stanley Cup game.
All right, when we come back, what we learned, 3 stars of the day, criticisms and compliments next on 101 ESPN. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or the Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. All the podcasts, of course, brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. Time to find out what everybody learned today. How about we start off with Andrew Marsh?
Guys, I learned, unfortunately, that if you have Carey Davis close his eyes, he will, in fact, always pick the blue glasses. And it's unfortunate, given that Carey was born in this great city.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he went out to the western part of the United States to become an actor and singer-songwriter.
Never returned.
Yeah, I'm here.
And he picked the blue glasses.
Different version of Carey.
Yeah. Not like died in Croatia, alien took over your body type different.
Yeah,
that's way different.
Way different, but just it's unfortunate.
Yeah, good call.
I learned that even though I can't skate, never played in the National Hockey League, never stood in front of a net, I can actually be blamed for a Stanley Cup final loss.
Yes.
Sure can.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By everyone in the room.
Jamie, just to build off that, what I learned is that it is possible to, in fact, admit blame, yet not take any of the blame.
Correct.
Yeah.
As Carey demonstrated earlier when he said, and I quote, "I fast laned up, but it's not my fault."
Jamie understands.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I learned today that no matter what sporting event that you watch at any point given time, that you're allowed to just pick the winning team.
Yeah.
And that's your team. So that you never actually lose a game.
No, when you go into it with both teams being your team.
No, Carey, you pretty much
like if the
you
Lions
said
play
any
the Bucks,
winning team.
The Lions play the Bucks?
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker for me.
Nah, I think you said you won. No matter who won.
Depends.
See what I'm saying?
That's two teams. You said literally every game.
Just said two teams.
It's not the same, Carey. You know it's different.
Clearly.
Way different.
No, I'm talking about football.
Yeah.
I'm talking about baseball. It's way different.
Right, way different. Different sports.
Different sport. Yeah. No lie. No, you're not wrong.
All right, Marshy.
You get a text from the 636 PSA. Stay off 40. It's a mess.
You gotta say it right. Stay off 40.
PSA. Stay off 40. It's a mess.
Much better.
Way better.
Yep.
From the 314, great show today, guys. Couldn't imagine listening to anything else while working. Go Cards.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Cards is right.
Ladue Lawn Boy says, I look forward to 2 o'clock every day. You guys are the best.
Oh, thank you, Lawn Boy. We appreciate you.
Yeah, Ladue Lawn Boy at that.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. On everybody's lawns.
Box. That's our listener's name is Box. Carey, you learned to not count on the Dodgers against the hometown Cardinals.
Yeah.
Glad I bet against your Friday bet. Go Cards.
I did it for St. Louis.
You did it for him. Box. You did it for Box.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yep.
You know, we like to cheer on Box. Make sure he wins his bets.
No doubt.
Yeah.
We get a text from the 314, and this is referencing Carey's bet the board pick. The hockey guy picks baseball during the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, it's a little embarrassing.
What's up with that? As 314 sends in a GIF and or GIF.
Gift Smith.
Gift Smith.
Gift Smith.
He was the
well-known coach
Chargers.
of the Chargers.
Interim head coach at one point. Oh, Gift Smith.
Yeah.
The 618 says maybe the Ladue Lawn Boy will be a lawn man.
Maybe at some point.
Maybe.
Yeah, certainly.
Wow, this is a crap sandwich.
Uh-oh.
Grant Francis Fan Club, you're my favorite St. Louis Hubbard show after the Riz show.
Oh, wow, Grant Francis fan.
Okay. That's okay. It's okay. Fellas, it's okay. Trust me. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Wow, do you know something that we don't know?
Nah, that's crazy.
Riz show okay?
Everything okay down the hall? I hope. At this point, the way Carey's acting?
Sometimes when you just say things, you just leave it there, and then people
Speculate. But it's their fault.
It's not my fault.
You came in and just kind of...
I can't be responsible for what you think.
Threw the bomb, but it's their fault.
Okay.
They stood there.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Text from 314, listening to you guys via the app poolside at the Great Wolf Lodge in the Wisconsin Dells. Got someone from Chicago area listening as well, and they said, funny sports show they have ever heard. Absolutely love listening to you guys.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah.
Wisconsin Dells.
Wisconsin Dells.
It's the Vegas of the North.
This certainly is. Yeah.
Chicago.
Chi-town.
Yeah.
Hey. I don't know why.
Gen X just made something up. You didn't say anything.
Who? What?
Gen X just made something up.
Don't say that one.
I didn't say that.
No.
I didn't say that.
Walrus King did bring up the Riz Show presented by the Fast Lane.
There you go.
Did we ever follow up with
Yeah,
that?
they missed it. They stopped doing that like 3 days in.
Shame.
Go back, check it. They stopped doing it like before a week was up.
Shame. Shameful.
Where was our little guy there, our buddy?
Yeah, right. Mr. Notebook.
Mr. Notebook guy was counting everything.
He counted every single time that we did not say the Fast Lane presented by the Riz Show when we lost.
We need somebody on our side that, well, who is it? Grand Francis Fan Club? Now, since you said that's your favorite show and you like our show, make sure they're saying it.
It's just
and hold them
disappointing.
accountable.
Yeah.
If you're going to do something, hold them accountable.
True. Make your show better.
Yeah. Since we're your second favorite show. It's a great show, and those guys and gals are awesome.
They have great
They are.
Absolutely.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, whatever.
It's time for the Fast Lane's 3 Stars of the Day. Presented by Circus Sports Illinois. Sports betting the way it should be.
Guys, our third star of the day goes out to batting average.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most important stat in baseball.
Unless you're Brendan Donovan, right,
Yep.
Carey?
He's leading. He's doing great.
Crap all over him.
Yeah. Second star of the day goes out to Captain Bandwagon.
Captain Bandwagon, also known as the one and only Carey Davis, according to Chester.
What? I learned from Anthony about riding the bandwagon.
Oh, stop it! I have
Show me how to
rules.
do it.
You're just on every
I'm just
bandwagon.
better. Just learned it.
Just hopping on every winning
Did it
bandwagon.
better.
Guys, we got a text from Rodney in the car. Anthony, I have a mockingbird in my backyard, and he runs off the starlings, which is just fine by me.
Yeah.
Our first star of the day goes out to that mockingbird.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Nice job. Yeah.
Well done.
You gonna clap longer?
I guess. I didn't mean to, but I
The
did.
long clapper guy.
For Andrew Marsh, for Carey Davis, for Jamie Rivers, I'm Anthony Stalter. See ya.